Chapter 1259. Star Sector 1295, Planet Number 17. Oh my god, what a huge spaceship. It's a product of the Black Gold dock, but why haven't I seen this model before? Of course you haven't seen it before. This is a limited edition enhanced spaceship. You can't even buy it with money. Only the nobles of the Black Wolf Gold Empire can own it. TSK. Enhanced Level 7 Spaceship. 7. 5 times the speed of light, 10 times the maximum speed of light. The best spaceship in the Black Wolf Gold Empire. At the space station, the enhanced Level 7 spaceship caused a huge commotion. In the Milky Way, all the star system fighters had their own spaceship. They knew all the models and features like the back of their hand. Lin Feng's new spaceship caused a huge commotion in the space station. Everyone was envious. At this moment, Lin Feng was trying to figure out how to use the spaceship. Although he had an AI robot, he still needed to have a certain level of understanding. Dark matter space jump, activate. Lin Feng used his voice to control the AI. Instantly, the huge black gold level 7 spaceship let out a rumbling sound. A strong magnetic field rippled, as though a monster had awakened. Suddenly, pong! The black gold level 7 spaceship disappeared from the space station without a trace. Oh my god, dark matter space jump doesn't even take half a second? What a terrifying performance. If I can own such a spaceship in my lifetime, I wouldn't have wasted my life. Stop dreaming, go work hard. So, in the dark matter space, a black gold stream of light flew past. With the help of the AI robot, Lin Feng quickly familiarized himself with the operation. High technology made the complicated simple. Every small operation wasn't complicated at all. For example, right now, with the guidance of the spaceship could move on its own. Of course, in the dark matter space, there would often be space tremors, folds, and even dark matter storms. Every time there was a change, it would require a new guidance and direction. Lin Feng naturally wouldn't waste too much time here. He could leave the small things to the AI robot. It would help him do the most precise and perfect work. The AI robot in front of him wasn't any cheaper than the spaceship. From 0 to 7. 5 times the speed of light, it didn't even take 10 seconds. Too fast. Lin Feng was very satisfied with this level 7 spaceship. Compared to it, the Jinlong spaceship from Earth was a pile of scrap metal. Of course, moving at 7. 5 times the speed of light would consume a lot of energy, but Lin Feng didn't care. It's very stable. I can't feel any bumps or vibrations. You get what you pay for. Lin Feng, who was sitting in the driver's seat, nodded in satisfaction. His gaze fell on the LED screen and the precise radar map. The spacecraft was a red dot, and the target was a white dot. The distance is clearly marked on the lower right of the radar. 12 light years. It was equivalent to traveling for 8 years in the original universe. It's not far. After entering the Milky Way, Lin Feng had a general understanding of the galaxy's location. The distance within 10 light years was basically not far. The Milky Way's diameter was 120,000 light years. As long as there was a guide, even the most common Standard Series 4 spaceship could reach a distance of 10 light years in the dark matter space at twice the speed of light in less than a year. With Lin Feng's current vehicle at 7. 5 times the speed of light, it would only take him about 3 months to reach the destination. To a martial artist, it was only a short time to comprehend the profound meaning. I can't enter the Milky Way black network in the dark matter space. I'll use this time to practice the sword, comprehend the profound meaning, cultivate the true dragon heart refining path, and prepare for battle. Lin Feng gave the AI robot full control of the spaceship and entered the spaceship to cultivate. The enhanced level 7 spaceship had a huge space for cultivation. Day after day, month after month. I've comprehended the first 6 moves of the infinite sword technique. Lin Feng was very satisfied. Although he had only learned 3 moves of the actual sword technique, he had fully comprehended the first 6 moves. His sword heart had successfully reached level 7, refinement. Although he wasn't the best among the silver platters, he was at least above average. There's still almost a month left. Lin Feng held the sinful black saber and hesitated. He could continue to practice the 3 moves of level 7, refinement. He could also comprehend the last 3 moves of the ultimate level 7, refinement. It took me 2 months to master the 3 guiding moves of the 7th tier minute subtlety saber technique. The ultimate level 7, refinement, will only be more difficult. Lin Feng had been flying in the dark matter space for more than 2 months. He was less than a month away from the final destination. Refinement was difficult, but execution was even more difficult. It would be difficult to master the essence of the move in just a month. Why don't I try to merge them? Although the chances are lower, at least there's hope in this month. Lin Feng thought of the first 3 moves of the infinite sword technique. He chose the second move, which was balanced in power and difficulty. 1 blade limit. The first move, Limit of Mount Wu, is more of a starting move. It's mainly for control. It's too weak. The third move, Limit of the Cross, is powerful enough. However, I have no hope of merging them in less than a month. The more difficult a move was, the harder it would be to merge them. Therefore, Lin Feng chose the second move, 1 blade limit. It was a move with a fast rhythm. At the same time, it was the most suitable move for merging with profound meaning. 100,000 green skies is too powerful. It will reduce the speed of 1 blade limit. It's not very suitable. Giant Bat Force is mixed with attack and support. It's not very suitable either. Okay, I'll take it. Lin Feng made his decision quickly. After all, he was not proficient in many 5-star profound meanings. He only had 1 cultivation path. Moreover, the best way to merge them was with attack profound meaning. Beep, beep. Attention, the original universe space jump is about to begin. A gentle voice sounded inside the spacecraft. Lin Feng, who had finished washing up, walked out of the spacecraft. It was still dark in front of him, but the next moment there was a bang. The universe ship only trembled slightly, but the surrounding scenery was completely different. I'm here. Lin Feng looked at the stars, debris, meteorites, and small planets in the original universe. He felt that they were full of life. There was nothing but darkness in the dark matter space. He did not like it. Guide us to the Jinlong territory, Lin Feng shouted with his sharp eyes. Beep, positioning complete. Start. The spacecraft set off from the original universe and headed toward the Jinlong territory. Although the Jinlong territory also had the space guidance of the dark matter passage, one had to get permission to enter their territory. The space station before him was the closest space station to the Jinlong territory. The distance between the two was only 0.02 light years. In other words, in 7 days, the Jinlong territory will no longer exist in the Milky Way. Lin Feng was full of fighting spirit. To be continued. Chapter 1260. The Golden Dragon race was not particularly outstanding among the many races in the Black Wolf Gold Empire, but they were still considered the backbone of the race. Their talent, White Dragon Eye, was one of the more outstanding abilities. The Golden Dragon race was usually good at controlling superbrain machines, technological weapons, and so on. The Golden Dragon territory contained 17 solar systems. Every solar system had a level 5 genetic spirit warrior and was equipped with a level 5 technological system. Dehua, how's the progress? An old voice with a heavy tone asked. It was an old man in a gray suit. His golden hair was a little white. He was the great ancestor of the Golden Dragon race, Jin Sheng, a 6 elemental genetic spirit warrior. Shi Chang left 4 years ago. He will arrive in 5 years. Jin Dehua said respectfully. Great ancestor Jin Sheng said in a low voice. Besides you, me, and Jin Shi Chang, is there a 4th person who knows about this? No, great ancestor, Jin Dehua said. Good. Great ancestor Jin Sheng nodded and said, this is related to the rise and fall of the Golden Dragon race. It must be kept a secret. I watched Shi Chang grow up. I trust him. A 9-star planet was precious. If the news got out, the entire Black Wolf Gold Empire would go crazy. By then, the Golden Dragon race would have nothing to do with it. By the way, how did Han Shan die? Great ancestor Jin Sheng suddenly asked. He followed how heir to battle, and died in the battle against the Earthlings. Jin Hua said, "Why, great ancestor?" Great ancestor Jin Sheng frowned. "You should know his identity." Jin Hua nodded. "He was very close to Hao Er. I didn't know he was going to Earth with Hao Er." Great ancestor Jin Sheng said, "Does Madame Han know about Han Shan's death?" Jin Hua sighed. Suddenly, ring, ring. A sharp and hurried sound was heard. Great ancestor Jin Sheng and great ancestor Jin Hua were both shocked. Hurried footsteps came from outside the door. It was Jin Hua's right-hand man, the strongest genetic warrior of the Golden Dragon race, Jin Shu. "Great ancestor, an unknown spaceship has entered the territory," Jin Shu said seriously. "One." Great ancestor Jin Hua's face softened. "Maybe it's a spaceship that entered by mistake. Maybe it's asking for help. Can we initiate communication?" Ancestor Jin Sheng said. Jin Shu shook his head. The other party did not respond. Patriarch Jin Dahan and Ancestor Jin Sheng's expressions froze. Patriarch Jin Dahan said, "Immediately arrange for universe ships to surround and block them. Send out a warning. If there's no response, fire." But Jimin looked troubled. Patriarch Jin Dahan bellowed, "What are you waiting for?" Founder Jin Sheng's dim eyes looked up. "What's so special about the opponent's ship?" Great ancestor is wise. Jin Mao's eyes were filled with fear. "The enemy's ship is an enhanced level 7 ship from Black Gold Dock." As he said that, his body trembled. Patriarch Jin Dahan and great ancestor Jin Sheng's expressions turned ugly. To be able to ride such a spaceship, one had to be a ruthless character from the Black Wolf Gold Empire. He couldn't afford to offend the Golden Dragon race. Just as Jin Decho was in a state of panic, Lin Feng's enhanced level 7 ship had officially entered Jin Long territory. Above the radar was a flashing signal light, and the red light on the communication signal was flashing. Lin Feng sat in the driver's seat and turned a blind eye to it. His gaze swept across the radar's main map. The entire Jin Long territory could be seen. It was too big. Jin Long territory was bigger than expected. If he wanted to take it all down, it would take at least a few years. If he wanted to capture Patriarch Jin Dahan, unless he showed himself, it would be very difficult. They don't dare to attack. Lin Feng looked at the radar screen. It was all Jin Long race's ships, but they didn't dare to get too close or stop him. This was power. In the Black Wolf Gold Empire, a spaceship represented one status. "Master, should we attack?" The AI robot's voice sounded calmly. "Not now." Lin Feng didn't want to alert the enemy. He was waiting for the real prey to appear. The radar shows that ahead should be Jin Long territory's 7th star system. Lin Feng had already entered the center of the star system. This was Jin Long territory's hinterland. The 17 star systems were indeed very big, but each star system was connected by a portal. Crossing star systems wasn't difficult. The difficult part was entering the center from the outer part of the star system. Normal star system civilizations were all concentrated in a small area in the center. Lin Feng raised his eyebrows. A request came from the radar. It was from Jin Long race's Patriarch Jin Dahan. There were a few consecutive requests. It was very urgent. "Meet." Lin Feng smiled. "Number 1, slow down and get closer," Lin Feng ordered. "Yes, master." Number 1 was the name of the highest level AI robot. 7th star system, outside Jin Z star. Dozens of spaceships were like a fleet, neatly arranged in a V shape. The one in the middle was Patriarch Jin Dahan's ride, a 6 series spaceship. It was much weaker than Lin Feng's enhanced level 7 spaceship. The magnetic field activated the laser cannons, laser beams. The defense system of Jin Z star was fully activated. Jin Long race was fully prepared. "Patriarch, the enemy has slowed down." Jin Mao let out a sigh of relief. Patriarch Jin Dahan nodded. "However, the call request hasn't been accepted." Jin Mao said, "The enemy hasn't attacked in the past 10 days. I believe they don't have any ill intentions." "Have you found anything?" Patriarch Jin Dahan asked. Jin Mao shook his head. Patriarch Jin Dahan sighed. It was obvious they wouldn't be able to find anything. Someone who could pilot such a level of spaceship, the Black Gold Dock definitely wouldn't leak their information. Their gene-long race didn't have such ability. Let's go and welcome them. Patriarch Gene de Hun forced a smile. It's very likely an important person from the Black Wolf Gene Empire met with some accident while flying. Gene Mao's eyes shone brightly. Rumble, rumble, a row of spaceships neatly escorted them. In the middle, Patriarch Gene de Hun's 6 Series spaceship slowly moved forward, welcoming the huge black gold spaceship. The distance between them slowly shrunk. Patriarch Gene de Hun smiled, full of anticipation as he waited for the arrival of the important person. Suddenly, an unusual ripple appeared. An intense alarm sounded within the spaceship. Patriarch Gene de Hun's expression changed greatly. Rumble! The atomic laser cannon fired, shaking the entire star system. It came from that gigantic spaceship and spat out fire, almost like a space beast opening its bloody mouth. No! Patriarch Gene de Hun's eyes widened. Chapter 1261. Genelong Territory. The 7-star system space was lit up. Lin Feng's enhanced Level 7 spaceship was equipped with heavy weapons as well. The enhanced Level 7 atomic laser cannon fired an atomic bomb, condensing the power of the Level 7 atomic bomb to its maximum. Pung! With just one hit, the Genelong race's best ship, the race leader Gene de Hun's ship, was blown to smithereens. Amidst the intense explosion, Gene de Hun and the warrior Gene Mao appeared covered in dirt, their eyes filled with rage. They were filled with anticipation to welcome the arrival of a big shot. They never would have thought that what awaited them would be such a merciless cannon fire. Rumble! The enhanced Level 7 atomic laser cannon fired once more. This time, the Genzi Star's defense system finally reacted. Rays of white magnetic aurora appeared, forming a heaven's net barrier, protecting them. Pung! 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 The Genelong race's ship opened fire. They couldn't care less whether it was a big shot or not. They couldn't allow themselves to be grabbed by the neck and beaten up. Kill! Destroy it for me! The race leader Gene de Hun roared in rage. He couldn't maintain his gentlemanly appearance anymore. He was mad with rage. He didn't even know why he was being attacked. Who did he offend? The Genelong race had always played their part. There was no way they would offend a big shot with such a ship. Who exactly is it? Gene de Hun's eyes were bloodshot, his teeth almost breaking. Suddenly, his heart skipped a beat. He felt that something was wrong. A chill ran down his spine. At this moment, the black light appeared in an instant, extremely fast. One blade boundary, Lin Feng's blade, was completely in sync with his body, as though heaven and earth had merged into a line. Limitless blade technique's 11th move, revealing its might. No! Gene de Hun's eyes were filled with rage. He wanted to resist. But rumble! The attack of the soul consciousness seemed as if it had collided with a boundlessly thick wall, and it was utterly unable to affect Lin Feng in the slightest. In an instant, the terrifying blade energy broke through Gene de Hun's defense, splitting his weak body in two. Race leader Gene Mao, who was not far from Gene de Hun, roared in rage. I'll kill you! Gene Zhua and Gene de Hun grew up together, and their relationship was closer than that of brothers. However, he was still one step too late. If he had joined forces with Gene de Hun, even if they could not defeat Lin Feng, they would not have ended up in such a situation. Although he was the strongest genetic warrior of the Golden Dragon race, he was still only a level 5 genetic warrior, equivalent to his silver plate. The current Lin Feng was an advanced silver platter. Moreover, he was one of the best. Great Cross Limit. Lin Feng's black blade of sin drew a huge cross, spinning and exploding. In just 2 or 3 moves, Jin Zhong was killed cleanly. Jin Zhu's eyes were filled with anger, filled with unwillingness. Even when he died, he didn't know who killed him. I've dealt with the 2 of them. After successfully killing Gene de Hun and Jin Lu, Lin Feng's expression was calm. Everything was within his calculations. From the moment the spaceship lit up, he had already slipped out from the bottom of the spaceship during the first attack. During the second attack, he took advantage of the chaos to attack. From start to finish, the one controlling the ship to attack was number 1. Lin Feng himself wasn't good at controlling spaceships. There's one left. Lin Feng's gaze swept around. His spaceship was currently engaged in an intense battle with more than 10 spaceships of the Golden Dragon race. Spaceships kept appearing around the other planets, surrounding them. To destroy this strengthened level 7 spaceship, I'll need at least 100 level 6 spaceships. Lin Feng had already asked number 1 to do a precise analysis. Level 7 spaceships were already much more powerful than level 6 spaceships, let alone strengthened ones. Level 6 spaceships could still barely break through the defense of level 6 spaceships. No matter how many level 5 spaceships there were, they would only be able to tickle the strengthened level 7 spaceship. With an endless supply of energy, the Golden Dragon race won't be able to break through my spaceship. Lin Feng's aura spread out. He was looking for the strongest warrior of the Golden Dragon race. Ancestor Jin Sheng. No. Lin Feng's speed erupted as he headed straight for Jin Zixing. If Ancestor Jin Sheng wasn't on this battlefield, he was most likely on Jin Zixing. If even Jin Zixing wasn't there, then he was definitely in his lair. Eliminate the source of trouble. Jin Sheng, you can't run. Lin Feng's killing intent was resolute. This concerned the safety of Earth. He naturally wouldn't show mercy. Jin Zixing ancestor Jin Sheng's face was pale and ugly. He was also one of the people who came to welcome him, but as a host, he didn't go outside to welcome him. Who would have thought that before the important person came, bad news came? Patriarch Jin Dahun, the strongest warrior of the race, Jin Lu, were dead. The other party only had 1 spaceship, but they were able to completely destroy the Golden Dragon race. Earthlings, they must be from Earth. Ancestor Jin Sheng's veins were blue. He couldn't restrain his anger. He was much more experienced than Jin Dahun, and quickly guessed the identity of the enemy. It wasn't hard to guess. Ever since Jin Hao's entire army was wiped out, Ancestor Jin Sheng had been slightly worried. Earth, that was a 9-star life planet. As the saying goes, even a rotten ship has 3 nails. How could a warrior from Earth be weak? There's no other way. Ancestor Jin Sheng instantly looked like he had aged a few thousand years. He opened a message and sent it out, sighing, "The hope of the Golden Dragon race depends on her." Rumble. Hong Lai's blade energy landed, splitting the great ancestor hall into pieces. Ta! Lin Feng descended from the sky, holding the sinful black blade in one hand. You are Jin Sheng. The opponent's aura gave him an unusually strong feeling. Stronger than Jin Dahun and Jin Lu combined. Other than Ancestor Jin Sheng, there was no other possibility. You know quite a lot. A smile appeared on founding Ancestor Jin Sheng's face. Suddenly, he clenched his fists, and 2 black holes appeared from his sleeves like machine guns. Go and die. Ancestor Jin Sheng roared madly. Following his roar from his left and right sleeves, a powerful force shot out. This was a level 6 technological weapon. Giant Bat Force. Lin Feng instantly used the Oblivion 5-star profound meaning. The Giant Bat Force was a mix of attack and support. At the same time, it could be used as a defensive technique. Who? A giant bat suddenly appeared in the sky, spreading its black wings that could close the sky, in an instant swallowing Ancestor Jin Sheng's attack. The force penetrated its black wings, but it couldn't move even a step forward. Whoosh! Whoosh! The giant bat force annihilated a level 6 technological weapon. Lin Feng also attacked Ancestor Jin Sheng. You're courting death. Ancestor Jin Sheng roared furiously, his attack faster. Chi! Lin Feng's blade showed its brilliance, condensing into the shape of lightning. Lightning Boundary. This was Lin Feng's new blade move, combining the profound meaning of the way of lightning with the blade boundary. Not only was the attack speed faster, but the appearance of the blade was also like lightning, greatly increasing the attack power. Die! Lightning flashed, reflecting founding ancestor Jin Sheng's terrified eyes. He died with great reluctance. At this time, at ancestor Jin Sheng's waist, a red light occasionally flashed. Chapter 1262. Star Zone 1295, Planet 17. This was where the Golden Dragon tribe lived in the Black Wolf Gene Empire. A beautiful woman stood in the middle of the courtyard with her eyebrows furrowed. She gave off a murderous aura that made the maids not dare to get close. She was Lady Han, who had a special position in the Golden Dragon tribe. Her husband's surname wasn't Han, but hers. Even her son's surname was Han Shan. She was the most special and only one in the Golden Dragon tribe because of her background. The blood of the Mad Wolf Han family, one of the top 3 families in the Black Wolf Gene Empire, flowed in her veins. Ha! He clicked on a message that great ancestor Jin Shang had sent him before his death. It condensed into rays of light in the void, like a movie replaying. Above it, Lin Feng's appearance and everything he had done flashed clearly. Silver plate, advanced martial artist. The noble and unyielding blood of the Mad Wolf flowed in Lady Han's veins. It wouldn't fade because of time. She didn't panic at all. There was only anger erupting from the bottom of her heart. Tribe leader, great ancestor was killed one after another. Golden Dragon tribe will be massacred. Lady Han gritted her teeth. Great ancestor sent a message. He might be an earthling. The earthling who killed my son, Han Shan. Before Han Shan died, he also sent a message to his mother, Lady Han. Lady Han knew Earth very well, including the coordinates of the universe and the secret of Earth being a 9-star planet. Her son's death was irreconcilable. More than 90% of the reason the Golden Dragon tribe was able to buy level 6 technology weapons was because of Lady Han. Lady Han was the cousin of the current leader of the Mad Wolf Han family, Han Jianping. I'll have to ask cousin for help. Lady Han knew that she and the Golden Dragon tribe wouldn't be a match for him. War raged in the Golden Dragon tribe. Outside the Golden Purple planet, AI Robot Number 1 was controlling the strengthened Level 7 spaceship. It was like a fire-breathing dragon sweeping through the Golden Dragon tribe's spaceships. Within the Golden Purple planet, Lin Feng was killing all the genetic spirit warriors in the Golden Dragon tribe. Kill him. No, he's too fast. Our weapons can't lock onto him. Don't be afraid of him. There are so many of us. As long as we work together, we can definitely kill him. Within the Golden Purple Star, countless genetic soul warriors had arrived. However, at this moment, Lin Feng seemed to have been possessed by the god of death. His blood-red eyes triggered the hateful heaven state. He first killed founding ancestor Jin Shang, then slaughtered all the level 5 genetic soul warriors and genetic warriors on the Golden Purple Star. Invincible. Since they had started a war, they were enemies and not friends. Lin Feng would not be merciful because he knew clearly that the Earth and the solar system were behind him. Wushan's limit. Lin Feng's saber transformed into a Wu mountain. With a rumble, the saber energy tore at the surrounding level 5 genetic soul scholars. This saber move was a combination of control and attack, enveloping all of the level 5 genetic soul scholars. In an instant, green thunderclouds resounded in the sky. Amidst the rumbling, Lin Feng was like a thunder god descending to the mortal world as the 100,000 green heavens rumbled down. No, the expressions of the several hundred top-notch level 6 Golden Dragon race genetic soul warriors changed greatly. Genetic soul warriors had weak defenses to begin with. Now that even their movements were restricted, they immediately felt a deep sense of impending doom. Fight out with him. Use your ultimate move and drag him down with you. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The eyes of the White Dragon race genetic soul scholars lit up with a cold light. Ordinary martial artists would not fight to the death with genetic soul scholars because genetic soul scholars often had direct soul attacks. They were best at destroying the enemy before they died. Before his eyes, the soul attack of several hundred level 6 genetic soul warriors was so terrifying that it could destroy both jade and common stone. What a pity. Lin Feng raised his hand and struck down lightning, killing thousands. The 10,000 origin mustard stone in his body was impregnable. They simply could not break the defense of the 10,000 origin mustard stone. This battle had become a nightmare for the Golden Dragon race. Almost all of the strong people in the race had been killed, and most of the spaceships had been scrapped. The opponent was only one person. He would rather kill the wrong person than let the wrong person go. Lin Feng went to the 17 galaxies in the Golden Dragon Race territory and killed all the strong people of the Golden Dragon Race. This was to prevent the secret of Earth from being leaked as much as possible. The vitality of the Golden Dragon Race had been greatly damaged, and the Golden Dragon Race territory had been destroyed beyond recognition. In this world where the strong preyed on the weak, similar battles happened every day. The Golden Dragon Race territory was not the first, nor would it be the last. Now, it's time for the second step. After the massacre, Lin Feng returned to the spaceship. He killed the Golden Dragon Race one by one, and no one dared to stop him from leaving. Activate the dark matter space jump. The spaceship turned into a beam of light and disappeared. Lin Feng returned to the 1295 star sector. He would first shake the foundation of the Golden Dragon Race territory and then destroy it. Lin Feng quickly moved on to the second step, which was to deal with the Golden Dragon Race in the star sector. Although the laws of the Empire clearly stated that fighting and killing were prohibited in the star sector, the light punishment would be imprisonment and the heavy punishment would be death. However, no law was perfect. Move. Lin Feng sent a message to a man called Serpent Wing. Yes, boss, Serpent Wing replied quickly. Lin Feng closed the message. He didn't move before because he was afraid of alerting the enemy. Serpent Wing was an underground power led by Elephant. Their main job was to secretly destroy a certain family or a certain power. They would do anything. Money makes the world go round. Lin Feng didn't need to do everything personally. Moreover, it wasn't convenient for him to do such things. 10,000 cosmos crystals worth the price. Just to deal with an ordinary mid-sized family in the star sector, 10,000 cosmos crystals was already a huge sum. Although Lin Feng knew nothing about Serpent Wing, Elephant's recommendation wouldn't be wrong. However, Elephant's recommendation would not be wrong. The giant spirit Quang family was one of the top 10 families that specialized in firearms. The Quang family's underground power was very strong. On the way, Lin Feng continued to train. With Number One's help, he didn't need to worry about interstellar travel alone. He had to seize every minute. Lin Feng knew the importance of strength. This was why he was still safe and sound, while the Golden Dragon Race was heavily damaged. Strength determined everything. I'm still not very familiar with Lightning Boundary. Lin Feng continued to comprehend in the training room. Despite killing founding ancestor Jin Sheng with a single slash, he still couldn't fully integrate the profound meaning with his saber. If I encounter a genetic warrior of the same level, my lightning boundary might not be strong enough. The key is the word fast. Lin Feng soon immersed himself in the cultivation of his saber moves. After the battle at the Golden Dragon Race, his comprehension of the saber deepened. 3 months later, Lin Feng returned to Star Zone 1295's 17th planet. Boss, the mission is over. Please confirm. Serpent Wing's message was in the message. In a short 3 months, Serpent Wing had turned the Golden Dragon Race's power on the 17th planet upside down. Lin Feng didn't care how he did it. The result was the most important. The base of the Golden Dragon Race, here. Lin Feng looked at the map of the 17th planet and walked over. Acceptance result. Chapter 1263. The 7-star zone of the Black Wolf Gold Empire. This was where the Lei Wang family, one of the 10 great families, was stationed. Each of the 10 great families had their own specialties. For example, the giant Spirit Han family was in charge of firearms, the Mad Wolf Han family was in charge of the guards of the various star zones, and the Lei Wang family was in charge of information. All the information on the AI system was compiled by the Lei Wang family. Father. The refined Wang Yun walked in. The Wang Yun in the real world was completely different from the dark cloud in the Milky Way Black Network. Yes, sitting on the main dragon throne was a middle-aged man with a thunder crown on his head and a purple-black striped ribbon around his waist. His hand were placed on the dragon head of the throne, and his eyes were bright. He was the patriarch of the Lei Wang family, Wang Jingyao. The people who left just now, were they from the Mad Wolf Han family? Wang Yin asked. Wang Zhengyao said, they asked us for help. Wang Yun's lips curled up. The Mad Wolf Han family, who has always been the most powerful, has a time when they need help. The Mad Wolf Han family controlled the guards of various star zones and was one of the three great families of the Black Wolf Gold Empire. Wang Zhengyao frowned. How many times have I told you that trouble comes from the mouth? Don't talk nonsense. Wang Yun muttered, they left long ago. Wang Zhengyao snorted, and his expression turned serious. All right, back to the topic. Did you check the information on the Golden Dragon race a few days ago? Wang Yun rolled his eyes. When did this happen? Why can't I remember? Don't play dumb over there. Wang Zhengyao said, do you know that not only was the Golden Dragon race's foundation in Star Zone 1295 destroyed, but even their territory was massacred? Wang Yun was shocked. He had been playing in the Origin world all this time, so he didn't know that such a big thing had happened. The Golden Dragon race must have offended someone they shouldn't have. Wang Yun pretended to be expressionless. Who did they offend? Wang Zhengyao raised his eyebrows. Air. Wang Yun was a little scared by his father's gaze. He quickly changed the topic. The Golden Dragon race is just an ordinary race. Why are you so worried? What do you think? Wang Zhengyao asked indifferently. Wang Yun's eyes widened. The Mad Wolf Han family? That's impossible. Wang Yun frowned. The difference between the Golden Dragon tribe and the Wild Wolf tribe is like heaven and earth. How can they be related? Patriarch Wang Zhengyao said, Mad Wolf Han family's patriarch, Han Zhanpeng, has a cousin who married into the Golden Dragon race. Golden Dragon tribe's ship has been overturned, and this Lady Han has returned to Wild Wolf tribe's Han family. Wang Yun's expression was solemn. Although he usually liked to fool around, he was not a hedonistic son of a rich family. He quickly understood the situation. The Wild Wolf Han family wanted their reputation, so they could not tolerate such a thing. They had to kill one to warn the others. Nirvana Heart is in trouble, thought Wang Yun. Wang Zhengyao, the patriarch, said in a deep voice, it is indeed related to you. No, father, you misunderstand. Wang Yun was quick-witted and reacted quickly. I was just wondering who would be so daring as to provoke the Wild Wolf Han family. It's him. Wang Zhengyao's voice rang out, and in an instant, a phantom appeared in the void. It was the scene of Lin Feng killing great ancestor Lin Feng. It clearly showed Lin Feng's appearance and form. Wang Yun was shocked, but he did not show any expression on his face. This person is so young, Wang Yun said, but he doesn't look familiar. Really? Wang Zhengyao said faintly. You really don't know him? I don't know him. Wang Yun nodded. Wang Zhengyao nodded and waved his hand. That's all, you can leave. Oh. Wang Yun was startled and immediately left. Shua. A masked man appeared behind Wang Zhengyao like a shadow. It was Wang Zhengyao's personal guard, Wang Yu. He was like a dagger in the night, and his aura was extremely powerful. A silver core elite. Patriarch. The young patriarch is hiding something. Wang Yu's voice was deep and cold. I know. Wang Zhengyao said faintly. Planet 17. The Jinlong race is so pitiful. They were cleared out in less than 3 months. What can they do? They offended someone they shouldn't have offended. They're lucky to be able to return to their territory alive. I heard there's only one person. I wonder if it's true? Lin Feng walked on the road and listened to the various voices around him. He could get a lot of information from the passers-by. Things don't seem to be that simple, Lin Feng thought. The Jinlong race's base should have been settled half a month ago. The Jinlong race was not a big family, so half a month should have been enough to calm the storm. But now it was still so hot. Could it be that the dynasty is investigating this matter? Lin Feng slowed down. Was the Jinlong race that powerful? Lin Feng was suspicious. It's pointless. Lin Feng knew that his appearance during the battle in the Jinlong race had been exposed. If the dynasty really wanted to investigate, he would be in a lot of trouble. Let's go back to the Night Star Hotel first. Lin Feng turned and left. Jinlong race's base. Will he really appear, Captain? Yes, Captain. We've been waiting for a long time. The Jinlong race's base is gone. He probably won't come, right? The guards muttered to themselves. A short-haired man with a Mad Wolf logo on his chest shouted, What do you know? According to the underground organization's rules, the customer has to come personally for inspection. He'll definitely appear. All of you, stay alert. Just you wait. The short-haired man roared. Lin Feng returned to the Night Star Hotel. As soon as he entered the Milky Way Dark Network, he received dozens of messages from Dark Cloud. Lin Feng glanced at them and felt warmth in his heart. Dark Cloud sent a call request. Accept. Lin Feng met with Dark Cloud in the virtual space. Xi and Nirvana, you really don't make a sound, but once you do, you amaze the world. Dark Cloud grinned, and his eyes lit up. I saw the part where you went alone and wiped out the Jinlong race. That's King awesome. Dark Cloud's eyes lit up and gave thumbs up. His heart was filled with rebellious passion. You're looking for me in such a hurry. Is it because of this? Lin Feng smiled. Dark Cloud came back to his senses and said, by the way, Nirvana Heart, you didn't go to the Jinlong race's base, right? No, what's wrong? Lin Feng asked. Not bad. Dark Cloud patted his chest and said seriously, something's wrong. Nirvana Heart. Then, Dark Cloud told him everything he knew. Lin Feng frowned. He was not afraid of being hunted. Mrs. Han. Lin Feng thought to himself. She was obviously not an ordinary woman. Her identity, status, and so on were all very special. She might be a key figure of the Jinlong race and the last hidden weapon. She might even know the secrets of Earth. It's a bit troublesome, Lin Feng thought. Chapter 1264. It was already troublesome to deal with Lady Han in the star regions. It was especially so in the 13 star regions, which were the hubs of the Empire. Lady Han was also in the Wild Wolf Han family, which made it even more difficult. The key now is whether Lady Han knows about Earth's secret or not. Did she tell Han Jianpeng? Lin Feng knew very well. Lady Han alone was not scary. What was scary was the entire Wild Wolf Han family. They had great power in the Black Wolf Gene Empire, and if Earth was targeted, it would be the end of the world. The Wild Wolf Han family was on a completely different level from the Golden Dragon race. The Wild Wolf Han family hasn't done much, so they shouldn't know. Lin Feng thought. With the preciousness of a 9-star planet, the Wild Wolf Han family would definitely take action immediately if they knew about it. Lady Han has married into the Golden Dragon race. After all, naturally, she should stand on the Golden Dragon race's side. If great ancestor Jin Sheng had entrusted Lady Han in the end, it meant that he trusted her a lot. Lady Han would not betray the Golden Dragon race. Jin Shiqiang hasn't arrived on Earth yet, and the situation is tense right now. So Lady Han won't do much, Lin Feng thought. After all, Lady Han still had to rely on the Wild Wolf Han family, so she should be careful. What I need to do, kill Lady Han 1 year before Jin Shiqiang arrives on Earth. Then the crisis on Earth can be solved. Lin Feng quickly organized his thoughts. But the next problem was the most important. How was he going to kill Lady Han, who was in the Wild Wolf Han family in the 1st star region? Ask Dark Cloud for his opinion. After all, Dark Cloud was the young master of the Wang family. He was not an ordinary martial artist in terms of status or knowledge. Lin Feng was not worried that Dark Cloud would betray him. First of all, even Dark Cloud did not know his exact location. Second of all, if Dark Cloud wanted to betray him, he would have done it long ago. There was no need for him to inform him. Lastly, with his understanding of Dark Cloud, he was not the kind of person who would betray his friends for profit. On the contrary, Dark Cloud valued brotherhood. Brother Lin, just bear with it for a while and lie low for a while, Dark Cloud said seriously. Wu Yun said seriously, I know that your battle power is not bad, but this time, we are facing the Wild Wolf Han family. Other than a large number of Silver Plate Realm warriors, they also have Silver Core Realm warriors. 2 fists are no match for 4 hands. There's no benefit in fighting them head-on. Lin Feng nodded. Unless he raised his strength to the Silver Core level, he would definitely die if he was exposed. The Wild Wolf Han family was the most powerful family in the Black Wolf Gene Empire. They were in charge of all the star zones and had spies everywhere. They were unable to clash head-on. Is there a way to find an assassin to assassinate Madame Han? Lin Feng asked. Perhaps. Dark Cloud pondered. Madame Han herself isn't much of a threat. The problem is that she's from Mad Wolf Han family, and she's in the largest star sector. Assassin organizations usually won't take such a huge risk to take on this mission. If you want them to accept it, how much would it cost? Lin Feng asked. At least 50 million universe crystals. Dark Cloud said, and there's a very high chance that they won't accept it. Understood. Lin Feng nodded. Killing someone in Wild Wolf Han's house was a provocation. 50 million universe crystals wasn't expensive at all. The key was that he didn't have that many universe crystals. I can't even take out 50,000 universe crystals. Lin Feng sighed. Finding an assassin to assassinate Madame Han was the simplest and most direct method. But at the same time, it was easy to cause a follow-up incident. There were pros and cons Dark Cloud side. I can't do anything. My dad is probably watching me right now. You've already helped me a lot. Lin Feng thanked him. Wu Yin sighed softly and said, "Oh right, Brother Lin. Maybe you can ask Brothering. He has a lot of connections. Maybe he has a way." Brothering? Lin Feng's eyes lit up. It was the mysterious person who helped him, Dark Cloud, Elephant, and Huang Yi become citizens of Dongwang Empire. I will. Lin Feng nodded. Dark Cloud waved his hand. Go and ask. You must be safe. Wu Xiang Team 1 can't do without you as the core. Okay. Lin Feng smiled. Lin Feng quickly contacted Brothering, but the latter wasn't online. Lin Feng could only leave him a message, hoping that he would reply as soon as possible. But as Dark Cloud said, this was only a possibility. He wouldn't put all his hopes on Brothering. For years. I have 4 years to cultivate. Lin Feng clenched his fists. When the heavy pressure fell, it would turn into motivation. Even if I'm not strong enough in 4 years, it's not the end of the world. Lin Feng understood that even if he killed Jin Shiqiang, it didn't mean that Madame Han would expose Earth's secret. But the best way was to not provoke Madame Han. In these 4 years, he would think of a way to kill Madame Han. Difficult. Lin Feng was clear. If he didn't rely on the assassin organization and relied on himself, he would need to at least have the power of a silver core elite. For years, few. Lin Feng let out a long breath. He could only take one step at a time. After all, he couldn't accurately estimate the cultivation of his own strength. But no matter what, Dark Cloud was right about one thing. He had to disappear and hide for a while. Lin Feng left Sector 1295. One must always be wary of others, and it was never wrong to be cautious. After entering Sector 3366, Lin Feng still chose the Night Star Hotel. As one of the top 10 forces in the Black Wolf Gold Empire, the Night Alliance was quite trustworthy. Once he moved in, his identity and information would be kept secret. The same went for the villa he lived in. 2 paths. First, improve the Origin Star realm and become a Silver Core elite as soon as possible. Secondly, focus on increasing your combat strength. Become a Silver Plate Pinnacle elite, and your combat strength will be comparable to a Milky Way elite. Lin Feng knew that these 2 paths didn't intersect at the moment. He had to choose one of them and walk as fast as he could to save time. Improve my strength. Lin Feng quickly came to a decision. Because the latter had a higher upper limit, becoming a Silver Core elite in the Origin Star realm didn't mean that his strength would completely transform. Unless it was a huge leap, such as the planetary level to the star level or the star level to the galaxy level. Also, it was easy to reach a bottleneck in improving the Origin Star realm. If he couldn't break through, it would be a complete waste of time. But improving his strength was different. The improvement of his strength was a step at a time. For example, if his goal was to have a strength of 1,000, then even if he couldn't reach it, he might have a strength of 7,000, 8,000, or even 9,000. I'll start with the sword. I'll enter the Milky Way arena to train. This is the most efficient way. To Lin Feng, the existence of the Milky Way arena in the Milky Way Black Network was an important part of the path he chose. As for comprehending the Tao of Origin, improving his life level, and transforming the Origin Star realm, he needed a huge amount of cosmos crystals. I'm now a silver. I'll try my best to reach the gold level in these 4 years. Chapter 1265. Geniuses remember love in 1 second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. In the 3rd arena of the Milky Way galaxy, the stage for silver platters. 100 Holies Cup, 7th round, 367th match. Dongwang Empire's Nyexin versus Silver Warrior Empire's Biming Booby. In the huge arena, two figures with surging combat power appeared. They stood opposite each other in the two corners of the arena. Outside the arena, there were countless imperial powerhouses watching. Nia Xin, 12,050 points, 63% gold level winning rate. Biming Booby, 78,666 points, 72% gold level winning rate. This is a contest between the newcomer, Nia Xin, and the veteran powerhouse, Biming Booby of the Silver Warrior Empire. The winner will enter the 8th round of the 100 Holies Cup. Let's wait and see who will have the last laugh. Above the arena, there was a commentary that stirred up the crowd's emotions. The crowd was also in an uproar. The newcomer Nia Xin is really a dark horse. He made it all the way to the 7th round of the 100 Holies Cup. I heard that he just reached the gold level not long ago. Look at his points. Most of them were won in the first 6 rounds of the 100 Holies Cup. He's really lucky. Generally speaking, the points in the arena were earned through real means. But sometimes there were shortcuts. For example, in the 100 Holies Cup, every victory would give a lot of points. It was not as easy to get from 10,000 points to 12,000 points. Newcomers were often not used to the gold level contest and were beaten badly. But Lin Feng became braver and braver. He was a new force to be reckoned with. He's bound to lose this match. Biming Booby has been famous for a long time. His points and winning rate are much higher than Nia Xian's. I wonder if Nia Xian will create another miracle? In the crowd's discussion, the battle had already begun. Biming Booby of the Silver Warrior Empire roared. A silver armor instantly condensed on his body, perfectly integrating with his skin and greatly increasing his combat power. He was a human, but a different kind of human, the Silver Warrior human clan. On the other side, Lin Feng had also activated his Hate the Heavens form. His face was as ferocious as the Shura, and his eyes flashed with dark demonic light. Wielding the Black Blade of Sin, he instantly engaged in a fierce battle with Dark North Invincible. The two sabers were completely different from each other, creating a battle of equal strength. The audience screamed hysterically, their blood boiling. At this time, in the box of the Milky Way arena, a middle-aged man was overlooking the battle below. He suddenly said in a deep voice, "Have you checked the information? Master, his identity information is a little strange." "I don't think it's him," a white-browed young man said. "Using someone else's identity?" The middle-aged man narrowed his eyes. Borrowing another person's identity was an unspoken secret. After a warrior disappeared, his citizen information would not be canceled, which was an opportunity to take advantage of. There were countless such cases in the Dongwang Empire, and the identity of a nobleman was the most popular. "Yes, he's a 9th-grade citizen in his identity information," the white-browed young man said. 9th-class citizen? How could a rising star who made it to the 7th round be a 9th-class citizen? "Master, according to the information, Nirvana Heart doesn't belong to anyone," the white-browed young man said again. "Check it out more clearly," the middle-aged man shouted. "Yes, master." The white-browed young man left. The middle-aged man then turned around and stared at the exciting battle. He had noticed the young man named Nirvana Heart since the 5th round, and he was quite touched. "Good saber technique," the middle-aged man commented. At this time, Lin Feng had gained the upper hand. His saber moves combined with the profound meaning were flawless, and his opponent couldn't go anywhere. Although Dark North's winning rate was much higher than Lin Feng's, and he had 6 times more points than Dark North, but everything still depended on one's strength and fists. Dark North's defeat was inevitable. Dark Cross. In the void, a huge cross condensed endless darkness, and in a suffocating sound, Dark North was eliminated. The surrounding was quiet for a moment, and then there was a thunderous cheer. Nirvana Heart won. 3 years. Lin Feng moved out of the arena and sighed with emotion. In these 3 years, he didn't relax for a moment. He kept cultivating and improving his strength, turning pressure into motivation. Although there was still a long way to go in the Tao of Origin, his combat strength had improved a lot, especially his saber technique, which improved at the speed of light. Not only had he reached the limit of level 7, but he had also reached level 8. Lin Feng was very satisfied with the progress of his saber technique, as well as the progress of his saber technique from the virtual teaching. He liked sabers the most and was best at using sabers. However, he had improved too quickly in other aspects, and his saber technique couldn't keep up. In these 3 years, he had been immersed in his saber technique. Although he was rusty in other aspects, his combat strength had greatly improved. Not only had he entered the gold level earlier than expected, but he had also adapted to the battles of the gold level very quickly. His winning rate seemed to be only 63%, but that was because he lost more than he won when he entered the gold level. After adapting, his winning rate had been increasing. It's the 8th round. Lin Feng held the sinful black saber and gradually felt the pressure. With every round of battle, his opponent's strength was increasing. There will be a reward after the 10th round. Lin Feng was looking forward to it. Not only was he looking forward to the reward, but he was also looking forward to the increasingly strong opponents. It had been a long time since he had fought purely for the sake of battle. The Milky Way Arena was a large-scale ranking system for combat strength, which gathered the strong people of the 7 empires in the Milky Way. The empires often held various competitions to attract the strong people of their own countries. Every 3 to 7 years, there would be some competitions. The 100 Saints Grail was held by the 100 Saints Palace of the Dongwang Empire. The 100 Saints Palace was said to be founded by 100 strong people from the Black Hole and had a high status in the Dongwang Empire. "Master, should we send someone to contact him?" a young man in blue asked. "No need. Let's wait and see," the middle-aged man said indifferently. He was the Holy Crane Palace Lord of the 100 Saints Palace, Ran, in the Dongwang Empire. Finally, it's the 10th round. That Nirvana Xian is so strong. I heard that he's a 9th-class citizen, right? Many forces are ready to offer him an olive branch. This Nirvana Xian of the 100 Saints Grail is indeed a surprise. He uses the body style and focuses on saber techniques. Even if he can't become a silver core expert, he can compete with him with his strength at the limit of the silver plate level. Unfortunately, according to the rules, the 100 Saints Palace should choose first. They're so strong, but they still choose. Ran, the Holy Crane Palace Lord, was still expressionless, but he was a little excited. He was impressed by Nirvana Xian's strength. He seemed to be improving with every round. At this moment, well, the Golden Dragon Shadow? Ran, the Holy Crane Palace Lord, didn't recognize the golden body of the true dragon. In fact, it was the first time Lin Feng used it in an official occasion, so he had to use it. If he kept hiding it, he would probably lose. Chapter 1266. Huff, huff. Lin Feng gasped for breath. Holding the saber in his right hand, his ears were full of cheers and roars of excitement. He had just defeated a strong demon from a barbaric empire. Strength against strength, body against body. This battle made the warriors of Dongwang Empire extremely excited. Human beings were physically stronger than demons. Finally, I passed the 10th round. Lin Feng had achieved his goal. Lin Feng participated in the 100 Holies Grail not only for the points, but also for the rewards. As the strongest force in Dongwang Empire, the 100 Saints Martial Temple shouldered the responsibility of guarding the glory of Dongwang Empire. Its wealth and treasures were incomparable to other forces. From the 10th round onwards, there would be rewards for every round. But the rewards were divided into different levels. "Do you want to continue?" the young warrior in charge of registration asked. "What's the change after the 11th round?" Lin Feng asked. "The reward for the 10th round is a random treasure from the 100 Holies treasure house. The reward for the 11th round is a random selection of 3 treasures, and you can choose one of them," the young warrior introduced. Lin Feng nodded. Because it was a random selection, it might not be suitable. That played a big role. After the 11th round, it would be better. After all, he could always choose a suitable treasure. Moreover, he did not want to end the battle of the 100 Holies Grail so soon. The battle just now made Lin Feng's competitive blood ignite. In the past, he had climbed up from the bottom step by step like this. He challenged the strong and continuously challenged them to make himself stronger. "Continue," Lin Feng said. "Okay." The young warrior smiled and said, The 11th round will be held in a month. Prepare well. I will. Lin Feng nodded. After returning, Lin Feng continued to cultivate. In the past 3 years, his daily cultivation was simple and direct. He kept walking in one direction. True dragon armor, true dragon protection. True dragon armor, true dragon spirit. True dragon boots, true dragon galloping. Lin Feng's combat power increased rapidly with the 3 cosmic system grade treasures from his teacher. Although the 3 cosmic system level treasures only had one function, they were able to maximize the effect of a single function. For example, the True Dragon Armor. After reaching Stage 3, its defense was quite terrifying. Together with the True Dragon Golden Body, it was unstoppable. Lin Feng even had the Heaven Hatred form, which was simply monstrous. It was indeed rare for a human to surpass a demon in terms of body flow. Apart from a spirit of the True Dragon, my True Dragon's Protection and True Dragon's Gallop have both reached the 3rd stage. The 3rd stage was the limit of the techniques of the True Dragon-type treasures. True Dragon treasures were different from other Nebula-grade treasures in that they would increase with the strength of the martial list. For example, the strongest combination technique, True Dragon Golden Body, its power depended on 3 aspects. The first was the strength of the martial artist, the second was the True Dragon World Force, and the third was the technique. The first stage of the technique was transparent, the second stage was virtual, and the third stage was real. To reach the 3rd stage of the True Dragon Golden Body technique, the first 3 forms of the combination technique must be at Stage 3. Then, I have to practice the combination to comprehend the 3rd stage of the True Dragon Golden Body. Lin Feng nodded. He only lacked the spirit of the True Dragon now. Compared to the other 2 techniques, the spirit of the True Dragon has a higher requirement on the soul. It requires a large amount of True Dragon World Force. Lin Feng had tried many times but failed, even with the help of the spirit of the True Dragon. Looks like I have to open the 3rd aperture to reach the Silver Plate Talent Soul. Lin Feng nodded. The cultivation method of the True Dragon Heart Refining Path appeared in his mind, and he entered a state of cultivation. Only with the spirit of the True Dragon could he cultivate the True Dragon Heart Refining Path. Originating from the cultivation section of the True Dragon World Canon, the True Dragon Heart Refining Path was like a guiding light to Lin Feng. Increasing his cultivation in the heavenly had always been a difficult problem. There was no way. He could only rely on constant cultivation and tempering to gain enlightenment. However, there was a broad path in front of Lin Feng. After getting the True Dragon World Canon, Lin Feng began to cultivate the True Dragon Heart Refining Path. He had made some progress in the past few years, but he had put it aside recently because he was practicing the saber. Now that he was starting again, he quickly devoted himself to it. Opening the 3rd aperture might not have a fundamental change to one's strength, but not only would it improve one's heart force and life level, but it would also expand one's mental range in the Origin Star realm. Lin Feng did not plan to give up the cultivation of the Talent Soul. Cultivating both paths did not mean that it would be a waste of time. On the contrary, not only would it increase one's combat strength, but it would also be of great benefit to the expansion of the Origin Star realm. Time flew while he was cultivating. Lin Feng soon welcomed the 11th round of the 100 Holies Grail. His opponent was an expert from the Silver Martial Empire. The pure silver armor represented their powerful bloodline. The Silver Martial Empire was a powerful force in the Milky Way. It had the largest territory among the 7 empires and controlled 28 billion star systems. Together with the Dongwang Empire and the Barbarian Empire, they were the 3 most powerful empires in the Milky Way. It was a carefree battle. Lin Feng won a small victory with his combat experience and smoothly entered the 12th round. Continue. Lin Feng did not intend to retreat. It was not his style to stop after a taste. Moreover, he had just regained the excitement of fighting with experts, which could not be measured by the value of treasures. In the 12th round, Lin Feng met an expert from the Tianhuan Empire who was a branch of the elves and was very good at illusions. This human's body is so strong. His soul must be his weakness. Well, The illusions of the Phantom experts are very effective against the Devil race. Like the Devil race, this Nirvana heart will definitely fall for it. Let's see how he loses. Most of the warriors were not optimistic about Lin Feng's chances. This included the experts from the Dongwang Empire. People were often jealous, especially those who were more outstanding and talented than themselves. Lin Feng appeared in the eyes of the crowd for a short time, but his appearance was already bright and dazzling. If he only fought until the 10th round, it might not be like this. However, Lin Feng was now in the 12th round. There were only 16 rounds in the 100 Saints Grail. A newcomer who had just entered the gold level was already close to the top of the gold level. With his current strength, it was only a matter of time before he reached the diamond level. Lin Feng's performance had already attracted the attention of the 100 Saints Martial Palace. In the box, Ran, is this the 9th class citizen newcomer you mentioned? The one who spoke was a man with a scar on his face. While speaking, he was spinning 2 daggers in his hands. His movements were very skillful. The daggers were spinning so fast that they seemed to cut the air, making a harsh sound. He was Yuan Pei, the master of the Crane Saint Palace. He was in the same position as Qi Ran. They were both under the Crane Saint and were the palace masters. Yes, a warrior who follows the body style, Qi Ran said. Body style? Yuan Pei smiled and shrugged. Let's see. The body style referred to warriors who focused on strengthening their bodies. It was not mainstream in the Dongwang Empire. After all, few humans could go too far in a body style. Moreover, both the Barbarian Empire and the Silver Martial Empire were good at it. Well, let's see. Qi Ran did not recommend more. It was easy to tell whether he was a dragon or a snake. Chapter 1267. 100 Holies Cup. Round 12, Game 17. Nie Xian from Dongwang Empire versus Ning Yezi from Tianhuan Empire. 2 figures appeared in the arena. Lin Feng was holding the sinful black saber and wearing the true dragon suit. His whole body was shining with a faint golden light. Ning Yezi was a young elf who was only 5 meters tall. He had pointed ears, green skin, a pair of piercing eyes, and a pair of elf wings on his back. Nie Xian, points, 24808, gold level winning rate, 64%. Ning Yezi, points, 97912, gold level winning rate, 81%. Lin Feng's points increased rapidly. Generally, the points of each game in such a competition were considerable. Indeed, with enough strength, there was no need to waste too much time on the gold level. This was one of the purposes of the competition. The gold level was a competition for warriors with gold level battle strength. This is a contest between the super newcomer, Nie Xian, and the elite expert Ning Yezi from Tianhuan Empire. The winner will enter the 13th round of the 100 Holies Cup. Without further ado, the final battle will begin in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Begin. As the voice fell, Ning Yezi flapped his wings and floated up in the air. Lin Feng just stood there, motionless, because he knew very well that no matter how fast he was, he couldn't outrun his opponent's illusion. It was actually very simple to deal with illusions. Willpower. If one's willpower was strong enough, all illusions could be broken. He wasn't worried that Ning Yezi would use other attacks, because that would be neglecting the essentials. Hey, Nie Xian can't move? He fell into the illusion so quickly. Ning Yezi is too powerful. Come on, Ning Yezi. In the stands, there were quite a lot of people supporting Ning Yezi. Luin Leaf Forest. As soon as Ning Yezi made his move, the whole sky changed. The illusion of Tianhuan Empire was extraordinary. The weak audience looked at the arena and even saw a Luin Leaf Forest. They were shocked. Luin was a kind of demon tree that was very confusing. The Luin leaf had the effect of bewitching the mind. One would be lost in the blink of an eye. Double illusion. Ning Yezi's emerald green skin revealed a moving luster. As she muttered to herself, she had already sealed Lin Feng in layers. Wow, what a powerful illusion. Yuan Pei, who was playing with his dagger, exclaimed, "They are comparable to diamond-level experts." Although the illusory spirit clan in the Tianhuan Empire is small in number, each one of them is outstanding and has amazing cultivation in illusory techniques. Even silver core experts would lose half of their lives in the green leaf forest, Kuei Ran said. This kid is in trouble. Yuan Pei laughed strangely. Chi Ran stared at him without blinking. Suddenly, a trace of surprise appeared on his face. On the other side, Yuan Pei also opened his mouth slightly. He was extremely shocked. There was an uproar in the spectator stands. A youth stepped out from the arena with a calm face. He was unperturbed. As he walked out, the leaves of the LV leaf forest instantly withered and fell like the autumn wind blowing past. A scene of desolation and defeat. No, impossible. Ning Yezi was completely stunned. Cold sweat dripped from his green face. He became extremely weak and flapped his wings weakly. Just like the spectators, he was dumbfounded. Being able to make it to the 12th round proved that Ning Yezi was the real deal. His illusory realm was truly powerful, but Lin Feng was stronger. What a strong willpower. Kuei Ran's eyes were shining. This kid, Yuan Pei held his dagger with both hands and stopped twirling it. His thin face showed a hint of seriousness. Both of them were palace lords and were the best among the nebula-level experts. Silver core. Ran? Yuan Pei suddenly said. If it were you, could you break the LV leaf forest in a short time with your willpower alone? Yuan Pei asked. No, I can't either. Without his illusion, Ning Yezi felt as if his arms were broken. Although the illusory spirit race had other abilities and Tian Hoshio's cultivation was not bad, it was not worth mentioning in front of their top-notch illusion cultivation. In front of Lin Feng, the difference was too great. With a raise of his hand, Lin Feng took the victory of the 12th round. This battle was a walk in the park. The spectators were silent. Lin Feng used his true strength to show everyone that he was not a flash in the pan. He did not rely on luck to make it to the 12th round, but true strength. All-round strength without any shortcomings. Continue to participate. Lin Feng's voice was calm. He had no intention of giving up on the reward. He was a martial artist. The martial artist's heart hoped that he could continue to fight until he was defeated and eliminated. What do you think? Kuei Ran asked. The body flow you mentioned. I can't see how powerful it is, but this kid's willpower is really amazing. Yuan Pei played with the dagger in his hand. He has great potential, Kuei Ran said. Just based on his performance in the first 11 rounds, he can get the title of a third-class genius and be accepted into the martial arts hall. After the 12th round, I think he deserves the title of a second-class genius. Yuan Pei twirled the dagger. Willpower is very important to cultivation and the character of a martial artist. Well, his strength is almost at the bottom. Kuei Ran's eyes were very sharp. He had already seen through Lin Feng. But there is still a lot of potential to be discovered. There is no need to let the other Empire forces see it. In the next round, I will arrange Wangzi to be his opponent, Kuei Ran said. Yuan Pei narrowed his eyes. You just took in a disciple? Kuei Ran nodded. A first-class genius, a diamond-level expert in the Milky Way arena. He has never shown his face. Yuan Pei curled his lips. You shameless guy, Kuei Ran said calmly. I am thinking for the martial arts hall. Yuan Pei rolled his eyes with an expression that said, whatever you say. The 13th round was also held in a month. Lin Feng did not take it to heart. He was not that concerned about the outcome of the 100 Saints Cup. He wanted to challenge experts and sharpen his fighting spirit. Even if he knew that he would lose the next battle, Lin Feng would not give up. But finally, there is movement. Lin Feng cultivated the true dragon heart, refining Tao as usual. But today, the feeling was completely different. His heart was stirred. It was the vibration of the heaven-eye cultivation. It was the feeling of a breakthrough. Third aperture. Lin Feng's true dragon essence bloomed. A large amount of true dragon world power flowed. The cells in his body were excited and full of energy. Invisible air flows in the Source Star world expanded and changed the energy of the Source Star world. Lin Feng accelerated the true dragon heart, refining Tao. Again and again. Crack! It was as if something had broken, like a chick coming out of an eggshell. It was also like a flower in full bloom, showing its beauty. Vaguely, Lin Feng felt where his heaven eye cultivation was, releasing a powerful energy from his heart. His spiritual sense was clear. The talent soul in his sea of consciousness changed. A golden true dragon roared. Third aperture, open. Chapter 1268. Crack, crack, crack. With the opening of the third aperture of Tian Ho's cultivation, the true dragon's origin also underwent significant changes. At the top of the true dragon's origin, there was a crack on the bottom left and the bottom right. 3 points of brilliance instantly connected with each other. The true dragon's origin was like an eye opening, radiating true power. This is the true dragon's origin, the foundation of opening the great realm sea. Lin Feng felt a steady stream of true dragon realm force emerging. The powerful true dragon's origin was like a water pump, constantly extracting the essence of power. As long as he had enough energy, he could open the great realm sea naturally. He would become a silver core powerhouse. The opening of the third aperture, or to be precise, the acquisition of the True Dragon Realm Codex, truly paved Lin Feng's path of nebula-level cultivation. This was the benefit of having an inheritance. For senior brother Xin Yuan and the others, cultivating the True Dragon Heart refining path is the easiest and fastest way. After opening the third aperture, the True Dragon's origin needs to absorb a lot of energy to transform into the Great Realm Sea. From the Great Realm Sea to the Great Realm Sea, the energy required was quite terrifying. Even if it absorbed continuously, no matter how strong one's talent was, it would still take thousands of years. But for Lin Feng, it was very simple because he had the 10,000 origin mustard stone. With enough Ian crystals, Lin Feng did not need to slowly absorb them from the outside world. There's still plenty of time to cultivate. Before the next round, although the True Dragon's golden body can't be upgraded to the third stage, the sublimation of Tian Ho's cultivation, the transformation of the True Dragon's origin, and the great improvement of the True Dragon Realm Force are enough to make the True Dragon's golden body several times more powerful than before. Lin Feng smiled. In the third Milky Way arena, the 100 Sages' Grail was in full swing. The Savage Empire's roaring tiger demon is so powerful, tearing his opponent to pieces in every battle. Yes, it's so bloody, but so damn satisfying. I think the Silver Martial Empire's Qi Huan is very powerful. Part of his armor can already become the third stage bright silver, and every battle is a clean cut. I think it's the Sky Illusion Empires. With the 100 Holies Grail in full swing, there were many discussions. The Milky Way arena might not even have a single match like this in a few years, so it was naturally lively. Moreover, Arena 3 and Arena 4 were known as the Genius Election Grounds, so it attracted even more attention. Generally speaking, those with silver cores and above already belonged to someone else. Only silver spinners and silver platters had the possibility of freedom. People like Roaring Tiger Demon and Qi Huan were all hot favorites to win the 100 Holies Grail. Their strength was in the upper middle diamond level. Although Lin Feng was a new force to be reckoned with, anyone with a discerning eye could tell that Lin Feng's ability had just entered diamond level. Being able to make it to the 13th round was more or less due to luck. 100 Holies Cup, Round 13, Match 9. Xian Ye of the Dongwang Empire versus Wang Zi of the Dongwang Empire. The handsome Wang Zi appeared with an intoxicating smile. He had the appearance of an elegant young master, and in his hand was a strangely shaped golden fan. The two ends of the fan were like sharp spears, and blood dots were condensed. Just like Lin Feng, this was Wang Zi's first time participating in the competition, so he wasn't very famous. However, his smiling expression from beginning to end seemed to tell everyone that victory was in his hands. Sorry, brother, Xian Ye. As soon as the battle began, Wang Zi had already made the first move. He opened the golden spear fan in his hand, and endless wind energy surged out and enveloped the entire arena. What a strange nebula-level weapon. It was the first time Lin Feng had seen such a weapon. In addition to attacking, the golden spear fan in Wang Zi's hand had a very strong auxiliary ability. As soon as he made his move, Lin Feng already felt the pressure. The elegant young master in front of him was stronger than any of the opponents he had fought in the previous 12 rounds. Lin Feng no longer held back and went all out in an instant. The golden dragon shone brightly with a true dragon vitality and soared into the sky with a roar. Its momentum was even stronger than before. The metamorphosed and powerful true dragon realm force, under the enhancement of Tianho's 3 apertures, activated the golden dragon true body to show its tyrannical power. Although it was still an illusion, there was reality in the illusion, and it was already in the embryonic stage of the 3rd stage. In the spectator box of the arena, Qi Ran stood up. Oh. Yuan Pei, who was playing with the dagger in his hand, laughed. Old cat is burning his whiskers. Burn. Qi Ran looked down. The 2 young experts were in the midst of a fierce battle, and neither could do anything to the other. Although Wang Zi's ability to control the field was extremely strong, Lin Feng was like a sledgehammer, smashing every part of Wang Zi's layout into pieces. His body can actually strengthen again. Qi Ran couldn't believe it. His observation of Lin Feng had started from the 6th round, and it could be said that he had witnessed Lin Feng's physical strength. At the beginning, he had not thought highly of Lin Feng, but later on, it had become breathtaking, and now he was somewhat shocked. Yuan Pei praised. His physical strength is comparable to that of the Silver Warrior human race's geniuses. No wonder you value him so much. Qi Ran said, I can see that he hasn't comprehended much profound meaning. I'm afraid his comprehension is average, but physical strength is often better at fighting. He deserves to be called a 2nd-grade genius. Yuan Pei laughed. What if he defeats your 1st-grade genius? Qi Ran shook his head. Impossible. Yuan Pei leaned to the side and spun the dagger in his hand like a windmill. Nothing is impossible in battle. As they spoke, the situation in the arena changed. Wang Zi's expression was ugly. Lin Feng had turned defense into offense. Qi Ran frowned. It's a boundary artifact technique. Yuan Pei held the dagger. His innate soul is also at the silver plate level. Qi Ran's eyes shone with a fiery light. Pietro Holy Judgment. The Pietro crown, which originated from the Shiva temple, was a genuine boundary artifact. Apart from the Pietro illusion, the Pietro 18 styles of dual cultivation, and the Pietro crown's strongest ability after opening the 3rd aperture. Pietro Holy Judgment. In the void, a golden crown emitted a golden light. 4 golden Shivas appeared on the 4 sides of the crown. Each of them was an illusion, but they had a strong holy judgment power, like divine soldiers descending from the heavens. Hua, 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 the golden light shrouded the area, forming a vacuum. With Wang Zi's strength, he could indeed break it, but Lin Feng would not give him the chance. The moment he turned defense into offense, he had firmly grasped the situation in his hands. Although Wang Zi's strength was at the diamond level, but Lin Feng was obviously stronger. His innate soul had reached the silver plate level. Lin Feng not only had a stronger body, but his fighting style had also changed. One slash, another slash. Wang Zi's defense was extremely strong, and his profound meaning cultivation was exquisite. But under the pressure of the Pietro Holy Judgment, he was quickly forced into a desperate situation by Lin Feng, and his defeat was set. Boom! This slash caused an uproar among the audience. In the arena's box, Yuan Pei spun the dagger and smiled at Qi Ran. You lost. Qi Ran's eyes flashed. I'm happy to lose. Chapter 1269. After the 13th round, Lin Feng's journey was smooth. In the 14th and 15th rounds, Lin Feng continued to rise as a dark horse. Qi Ran did not deliberately make trouble for Lin Feng. It was okay to do it once in a while, but it would be too much if he did it more often. Soon, it was the 16th round. The remaining 8 warriors who won the 16th round would not only rise to the diamond level, but also receive the highest level reward set up by the 100 Saints Martial Temple. Qi Hu from the Barbaric Empire and Qi Xing from the Silver Martial Empire were among them. The 16th round was the last round. This time, the 8 remaining contestants did not draw lots in advance. They would directly fight each other by drawing lots. Hey, Qi Ran, your first-class genius hasn't been eliminated yet. Yuan Pei joked. His combat power is at the middle diamond level. It's reasonable for him to advance to the last round. Qi Ran crossed his arms and looked calm. What about you? Where have you been for the past 2 months? Yuan Pei chuckled, helping the saint with something. Qi Ran's eyes lit up. The saint is back. Yuan Pei smiled and twirled the dagger in his hand. I've gained a lot. Qi Ran breathed quickly and looked excited. Don't worry. The Crane Saint has always taken good care of us. We'll benefit greatly this time. Yuan Pei laughed heartily. Suddenly, Yuan Pei was surprised and looked outside. The results of the draw are out. Qi Ran's gaze swept over them, and he couldn't help but frown. My luck isn't that good. Yuan Pei shrugged. Qi Ran said, it doesn't matter. Winning or losing won't affect his evaluation. After the last battle, I'll send a yin to find him and recruit him into the 100 Saints Martial Temple. There was an uproar in the third arena of the Milky Way. Lin Feng had not drawn lots, and he did not need to. After the 7 warriors had drawn lots, he only had 1 spot left. His last battle was against Qi Xing from the Silver Martial Empire, one of the 2 favorites to win the championship. Very good. Lin Feng was very satisfied. He wanted to draw Qi Hu from the Barbaric Empire and Qi Xing from the Silver Martial Empire. Right now, this was exactly what he wanted. After the 16th round, they would indeed continue to compete for the championship, but they were free to do so. It didn't matter whether they participated or not, and there were no other rewards. Generally, half of them would give up. Not everyone was like Lin Feng, fighting for the sake of fighting. Z, you're very unlucky. Qi Hua smiled. You met me in the last round. It's a pity about your reward. If I had known earlier, you would have given up in the previous round. However, it's too late now, Don't worry, I'll show you mercy. With that, Qi Hua turned around and left. Lin Feng naturally wouldn't waste his breath on Qi Ming. Qi Ming's words were nothing more than to create psychological pressure. A month ago, I met Qi Hua. The outcome is uncertain. Lin Feng smiled indifferently and walked to the side to rest. He was in the 4th match, so it was still too early for him. It was a good time to watch the other 3 matches. The 7 great empires of the Milky Way. Lin Feng looked forward to it. That was the center of the Milky Way, the place where the true powerhouses of the galaxy gathered. The 100 Holy's Grail this time allowed Lin Feng to see the vastness of the Milky Way. In the 3rd arena, there were so many gold-level opponents who were close to his strength. Above the gold level, there was the diamond level, and even the king of the arena. The Milky Way is really full of crouching tigers and hidden dragons. Lin Feng actually didn't know that at his age, there were very few gold-level powerhouses in the 3rd arena. As for diamond-level powerhouses, they were even rarer. Those so-called king of the arena were more of the accumulation of time and the tempering of countless eras. This was because their upper limit was the Silver Platter Powerhouse. The final battle of the 100 Holy's Grail began under everyone's expectations. Qiu King from the 1,000 Demon Empire and Yin So from the Extreme Evil Empire. Lin Feng looked at the demon and demon in the arena. After a short introduction, the 2 powerhouses began to fight. There weren't many races in the Milky Way, but there were also quite a few of them. The main races were the human race, the demon race, and the demon race. The 3 major races each had countless branches, such as the Dongwang human race of the Dongwang Empire and the Silver Warrior human race of the Silver Warrior Empire. The humans on Earth were also unique and could be called the Earthlings. The powerhouses who made it to the top 8 in the 16th round were very evenly distributed. The 8 warriors belonged to the 6 empires. Among them, the Dongwang Empire and the Silver Warrior Empire each had 2. As the fierce battle in the arena was in full swing, Lin Feng's gaze fell on a place not far away. It was a young woman named Ellie. She had snow-white skin and her hair was tied up in a high bun. On her back was a big red bow that was 5 meters long. On one side of her waist was a quiver, and on the other side was a short sword. As if she felt Lin Feng's gaze, the woman with a fit and slender body turned her head and glanced at Lin Feng. Like a proud peacock, she turned her head back. Lin Feng smiled slightly. Those who could make it to the 16th round were not ordinary people. Many of them were from famous families. Hao Ling, Lin Feng said softly in his heart. She was a descendant of the Green Arrow human race, one of the human races in the Dongwang Empire. There were quite a lot of such human races in the Dongwang Empire. The Dongwang Empire itself was a hodgepodge of major races. The human race, the demon race, and the demon race were all there. While he was thinking, the battle in front of him had come to an end. Chihu, king of the demon empire, attacked crazily and finally won. Following him was Mahu from the barbaric empire. He was one of the two favorites to win the championship. His opponent was a beautiful woman from the Tianhuan Empire. There were no dark horses. Tiger Chi effortlessly won the 16th round of battle. His roar shook the entire arena, telling everyone that he deserved to be called the champion. Then it was the third battle. Hong Ling's opponent was the Silver Warrior human race of the Silver Warrior Empire. Different from the Dongwang Empire, the Silver Warrior Empire was very homogeneous. More than 90% of the people were from the Silver Warrior human race. Because of this, the Silver Warrior Empire was more united than the other empires. Lin Feng watched the battle carefully. In fact, he was quite curious about Hong Ling's strength. This woman had the power that attracted Lin Feng. Well, it's the power of true eyes. Lin Feng soon understood the reason. Like him, Hong Ling was a dual cultivation warrior. She had the power of true eyes. With the power of true eyes as her main strength and her amazing archery skills, Hong Ling firmly grasped the initiative of the battle. Although her opponent managed to get close to her in the end, he was already an arrow at the end of its flight. Under the attack of Hong Ling's swordsmanship, which was not inferior to her archery skills, the winner of the third battle was decided. Dongwang Empire, Hong Ling wins. The audience cheered. Hong Ling jumped out of the arena and passed by Lin Feng. Don't embarrass the Dongwang Empire. Lin Feng was slightly stunned and then smiled. Of course. Lin Feng's voice rang out as he entered the arena. Chapter 1270. Qi Huan, Qi Huan, Qi Huan. The arena was filled with excited cheers, especially from some girls who were yearning for love. Qi Huan, from the Silver Warrior Empire, was not only good-looking and powerful, but also had a first-class family background. In the hearts of the girls, he was the perfect Prince Charming. Qi Huan, who was wearing a silver armor, had shiny earrings. He smiled and stretched out his hands, accepting the cheers like an emperor. Humans like this kind of boy toy. Humph, Tiger King Chi of the Demon Empire said disdainfully. He doesn't deserve to be on the same level as me. Tiger King Chi of the Barbaric Empire raised his head with disdain in his eyes. When he takes care of that bastard from the Dongwang Empire, I'll smash his arrogant face. Don't talk about bastards. It's still unknown who will win, Hong Ling said coldly. Tiger King Chi of the Barbaric Empire laughed. Although Qi Huan's boy toy is not good-looking, his strength is still a little bit better than that bastard from the Dongwang Empire. I think so too. Tiger King Chi of the Demon Empire laughed. Hong Ling said coldly, Frog at the bottom of the well. What do you mean? Tiger King Chi of the Barbaric Empire looked at Tiger King Chi, who was also confused. In the box. This newcomer from the Blue Arrow human clan is not bad, Yuan Pei said as he twirled his dagger. Everyone from the Blue Arrow human clan is good at archery and has a clear heart. Their cultivation of heart force is also better than others, Qi Ran said. Hong Ling's swordsmanship is excellent, which makes up for the weakness of the Blue Arrow human clan in close combat. Unfortunately, she's going to lose against Tiger King and Qi Huan, Yuan Pei said. Qi Ran said, It's not her fault. Few warriors can take care of everything. Besides, women are weaker than women. Yuan Pei laughed. It would be perfect if she could combine with that Nirvana heart. Qi Ran nodded. It's impossible. Both of them were first-class geniuses. According to Yuan Pei, they were special-class geniuses, which were rare in the entire Milky Way. First-class geniuses were easy to find, but special-class geniuses depended on luck. Oh, it's starting. Yuan Pei's eyes lit up. Fight! The 100-class Holy Grail. Bang! Right from the start. Qi Ming had already used his trump card. Instantly, a pure silver armor condensed on his body, shining faintly. Of the 3 levels of silver armor, Qi Ming was already close to the 3rd level. His true combat strength was considered top-notch, even among the diamond-level fighters. There is almost no one who could cultivate to the highest level of silver armor at the silver plate level because their bodies could not bear it. In the Silver Warrior clan, being able to cultivate to the highest level of silver armor at the silver core level was already considered a top talent. Qi Huang was almost certainly one of them. They had perfect bodies and impeccable saber techniques. The humans of the Silver Warrior Empire cultivated elemental combat power. The Silver Warrior Empire, which had the most star systems among the 7 great empires, was the Silver Warrior Empire, which had the most star systems. Boom! Qi Hua's battle saber was filled with raging flames. His battle prowess actually contains flames. Lin Feng was very surprised. He also had battle power. A human's battle power originated from their heart, and they could explode at different levels. However, for a completely formless battle power to be able to fuse with the origin energy was indeed inconceivable. 2 completely different paths of cultivation had been combined. This was not the first time Lin Feng fought with the Silver Warrior clan, but it was the first time he saw the true form of elemental combat power, or should he say origin combat power. Is it related to their bloodline or techniques? Lin Feng was very curious. If it was bloodline, there was no way, but if it was techniques, perhaps he could also master it. However, Lin Feng would not think too much during the battle. What he wanted to do was to fight to his heart's content and defeat his opponent. A month ago, he indeed did not have the confidence to defeat Qi Huang. But now, a month later, True Dragon Golden Body, a steady stream of realm power, emerged from the True Dragon vitality. The 3 cracks represented the 3 apertures of the Heavenly Ho cultivation. The True Dragon realm power was like 3 extremely thick water pillars, pouring into Lin Feng's head, Dantian, and Saul's. Whoosh! Lin Feng's eyes brightened rapidly. The combination of the heaven-hatred state and the True Dragon Golden Body erupted. Lin Feng's body grew tremendously. The True Dragon Golden Body protected him. Lin Feng's shining golden light penetrated his skin and resonated with the realm power in his body. Pung! True Dragon Golden Body, Stage 3. The True Dragon Golden Body condensed into a perfect reality. Since the True Dragon realm power broke through, Lin Feng had been cultivating the Stage 3 True Dragon Golden Body for the past few months. Now, he had finally achieved great success. Now that his body was fully unleashed, he was the best among the Silver Core experts. His body? Qi Huang was a little stunned. His body was almost invincible except for those of the Demon Clan at the same level. But this human youth of unknown origin in front of him was even stronger than him. As soon as they came into contact, Qi Huang was already frightened. Whoosh! Lin Feng easily dodged Qi Huang's blade, and the raging flame combat power was also instantly dissolved by Lin Feng. His momentum decreased, and in the blink of an eye, Lin Feng's blade had arrived. How can he be so fast? Qi Huang gritted his teeth in disbelief. The power of the blade was extremely strong. Although Lin Feng's blade technique realm was inferior to Qi Huang's, his physical strength made up for this disadvantage. Qi Huang grunted as he was repelled. Fortunately, his defense was not bad, and his silver armor that was close to the top showed his powerful bloodline. Unfortunately, he encountered Lin Feng, who had rich combat experience. A moment of fear was fatal. Metero, Holy Judgment. Lin Feng quickly used his strength. Blade technique was an attack. Realm power was a support. Lin Feng, who had strong willpower, could unleash the full power of Metero's crown. In the void, a golden crown rotated, and 4 golden Shiva condensed on the 4 sides of the crown and suddenly descended. The golden light shrouded Lin Feng, forming a lethal killing field. Damn it! Qi Huang was a little panicked. The pressure released by the 4 golden Shiva constantly affected his mind. In a battle of life and death, he could not afford to be distracted. Qi Huang bit his lips and forced himself to fight. But Lin Feng was different from the opponents he had encountered in the past. Lin Feng's combat power was not inferior to his. Boom! Boom! Bolts of lightning and cross-shaped light fell. Lin Feng's blade aura was awe-inspiring, constantly destroying Qi Huang's willpower and limits, making the other martial artists dumbfounded. So strong. This dark heart is too powerful. Qi Huang can't even fight back. Oh my god, it was not just the audience. Even Pai Hu, Hong Ling, and the others from the Barbarian Empire were stunned. They did not expect this to be a one-sided battle. In the arena, the battle became more and more intense. Lin Feng's fighting spirit soared. Qi Huang lost. Yuan Pei's eyes lit up. Chapter 1271. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Boom! Under Lin Feng's continuous attacks and the strong pressure of Matero's crown, Qi Hua was finally defeated. From the very beginning, his fear had determined that Qi Hua was destined to lose. Outside the arena, the young girls who were dreaming of love were stunned. Witnessing their prince charming fall from the high platform, his body smashed into pieces. An unknown human youth, holding a black saber, shattered their dreams. Nirvana heart, Nirvana heart, Nirvana heart. On the contrary, the warriors of the Dongwang Empire were boiling. Seeing that Lin Feng had defeated the insufferably arrogant Qi Hua, and it was an overwhelming victory, the feeling of comfort and satisfaction that came from the bottom of their hearts instantly exploded into shouts. The atmosphere in the arena was even louder than when Hong Ling had won. Lin Feng, on the other hand, felt nothing. He was not satisfied with defeating such a psychologically weak opponent. Swish! Lin Feng's gaze fell on Qi Hu, who was standing below the stage in a daze. The latter's eyes immediately widened, and he clenched his dark and terrifying fists. With a roar, he jumped onto the stage with a bang, causing the audience to roar even louder. This! The referee who was in charge of announcing the result was also a little stunned. It's okay. I was just about to compete with him, Lin Feng said. The battle just now was just a warm-up for him. Do you need to recover? Qi Hu's eyes flashed with scarlet light. No, Lin Feng said. Qi Hu sneered fiercely. Don't use this as an excuse. Of course not. Lin Feng's voice became serious. The saber in his hand hummed, and the flames of battle seemed to be burning in his chest. The real dragon golden body gave Lin Feng enough confidence. Boom! Boom! The man and the demon fought in an instant. In the box, Qi Ran and Yuan Pei were still shocked. I finally see the real strength of this guy, Yuan Pei exclaimed, holding a dagger in his hand. His body seems to have no boundaries. Qi Ran let out a long sigh of relief. He had personally witnessed Lin Feng's body grow stronger step by step. Looking down at him, who was now comparable to the top demon experts at the silver plate level, Qi Ran found it hard to believe. It was too shocking. What's his background? Yuan Pei was rarely serious. Ninth-class citizen, Pai Ran said. Yuan Pei frowned. Impossible. Qi Ran said, for months ago, after confirming that he was a first-class genius, we began to investigate further. It turned out that he was not really a citizen of the Dongwang Empire. Yuan Pei lightly said, borrow my identity? Qi Ran nodded. After following the clues, we discovered his true identity. He came from the Black Wolf Gene Empire, Lin Feng, a first-class citizen. He just logged in as a citizen not long ago. He should be a human born on a new planet. Black Wolf Gold Empire? Yuan Pei frowned. It doesn't matter, Qi Ran said. I believe that he doesn't feel a sense of belonging to the Black Wolf Gold Empire. It's a bit far. Yuan Pei looked down. Qi Ran gave a rare smile. A top-grade genius. No matter how far or how big the price is, it's worth it. That's true. Yuan Pei laughed loudly. Lin Feng did not know that someone had been watching him all this time. At this time, he was fighting fiercely with Qi Hu. Qi Hu, who came from a barbaric empire, and Qi Hua were two completely different types. Although they both had strong bodies, Qi Hu was a demon after all, and his body was stronger. Even with the double enhancement of Lin Feng, he could not gain the upper hand. However, the devil race had their own strengths, and the humans had their own specialties. Lin Feng's profundity and realm power cultivation were far beyond Qi Hu's reach. However, Qi Hu was stronger than Qi Hua in the aspect of his heart, which was violent and persistent. "So fierce," Qi Hua King exclaimed. "Yes." Hong Ling put one hand on her waist, revealing her healthy body. Although they had both passed the 16th round, they knew very well that their strength was not as strong as the human and demon fighting fiercely in the arena. However, after passing the 16th round, victory or defeat was meaningless. It was purely a battle for the sake of fighting. Nirvana Heart. Qi Hu. Nirvana Heart. The atmosphere in the arena was very hot. The audience also felt the enthusiasm of the fierce battle and enjoyed the intensity of this fierce battle. It was not a battle of life and death, but they were evenly matched and fought with all their strength. No matter who won or lost, the end of this battle was no longer important. In the arena box, he won. Yuan Pei's eyes showed a hint of excitement. His fighting spirit is stronger. Qi Ran nodded with satisfaction. The stronger the willpower, the more power he can exert and the more danger he can face. Maybe his comprehension is not that high, but his willpower can make up for it. He is enough to become a special genius of 100 Saints Martial Palace. I'm very satisfied. Qi Ran's smile came from the bottom of his heart. Looking at the determined figure bathed in blood in the arena, he felt like he was looking at himself in the past. A familiar feeling rose in his heart. He had not felt this way for a long time. Standing up, Qi Ran turned and walked out of the box. "Hey, Qi Ran, where are you going?" Yuan Pei shouted behind him. Qi Ran opened the door and slowly disappeared. "I want to see him in person." The Battle of 100 Saints Grail came to an end. The battle between Lin Feng and Qi Hu won the cheers of the audience. Qi Hu stretched out his strong right hand and shouted, "I, Qi Hu, am convinced. Human Nirvana Heart, you are very strong. You're not bad either." Lin Feng reached out and shook hands with him. Battle could also be a way of communication. The strong appreciated each other. Applause rang out from all directions, including the previously cold Hong Ling, who was also gently clapping for this final battle. She and Qi Huang would not challenge him again. Not to mention taking advantage of the situation. Even if they won, it would not be worthy of the title. Okay, I hereby officially announce that this 100 Saints Grail has come to a perfect end. The champion is Nirvana Heart from Dongwang Empire. With the host's loud voice, the whole arena was boiling. Hua! Lin Feng's figure suddenly appeared. "This is..." Lin Feng looked around curiously. It was not a treasure trove like he had imagined. Instead, it was a huge and splendid palace. There were majestic statues erected around it. He glanced around and saw at least 100 statues. Lin Feng was surprised. 100 Saints Martial Palace? It was said that 100 Saints Martial Palace was founded by 100 saints. There were exactly 100 statues here. Yes, this is 100 Saints Martial Palace. A loud and clear voice came from afar. Lin Feng looked over and saw a tall and sturdy figure slowly walking out from the depths of the palace. His eyes were as deep as the starry sky, and his entire body was emitting an indescribably powerful aura. "Let me introduce myself. I am the Lord of Crane Sacred Palace, Qi Ran. You can call me Lord Qi." The newcomer was Qi Ran, who had been observing Lin Feng. "This is 100 Saints Martial Palace. Every newcomer who joins 100 Saints Martial Palace will come here to admire the statues," Qi Ran said with a smile. A newcomer who joined 100 Saints Martial Palace? Lin Feng's eyes lit up. Chapter 1272. Geniuses remember love in 1 second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. The 100 Saints Martial Hall has been around for as long as the Dongwang Empire has been around. For hundreds of millions of years, the 100 Saints Martial Hall has given birth to generations of saints to protect the Dongwang Empire. Hall Master Kuei Rant's words were full of pride. "We are the backbone of the Dongwang Empire. In the Dongwang Empire, any clan has to be respectful to us. All the big and small forces in the Dongwang Empire follow the lead of the 100 Saints Martial Hall. To be able to join the 100 Saints Martial Hall, is the honor and lifelong wish of every warrior in the Dongwang Empire. Lin Feng, Hall Master Luo, shouted fiercely, causing Lin Feng's heart to tremble and his expression to change. Don't worry, I know your identity. Kuei Rant's voice was very calm. This will not affect my evaluation of you. Don't ask about a hero's origin. The 100 Saints Martial Hall only values a warrior's potential, character, and temperament, not his origin. Lin Feng secretly breathed a sigh of relief. He secretly praised the 100 Saints Martial Hall for being so resourceful that they even found out his name. No wonder they were the strongest force in the Dongwang Empire. You rose to fame in the 100 Saints Cup, and now many families and sects in the Dongwang Empire want to recruit you. Kuei Ran said slowly, but the one who is really suitable for you, who can cultivate you, and who can bring out all your potentials, only the 100 Saints Martial Hall. I will be your referrer and give you the highest status of special genius in the 100 Saints Martial Hall. Are you willing? Kuei Rant's words were calm and steady, without any request or coercion. As the backbone of the Dongwang Empire, the 100 Saints Martial Hall indeed had the confidence and strength to do so. And for Lin Feng, this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. One of the reasons why he entered the Milky Way arena that day was to make a name for himself. As the saying goes, even good wine is afraid of the deep alley. I'm willing. Lin Feng nodded. Hall Master Kuei smiled. Welcome to the 100 Saints Martial Hall. Lin Feng left the Galaxy arena. When he opened the message, he couldn't help but smile. At this moment, the party chat was in an uproar. Although there was only him, Dark Cloud, Elephant, and Huang Yi, it was extremely lively. Boss, you're too awesome. F *CK. Xanya, you're a freak. Champion of the 100 Holies Cup. Wah 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 wah. Brother Zinni, you're awesome. Lin Feng did not hide his participation in the 100 Holies Cup from Wu Yun and the other two. During the past 3 years, aside from going to the Milky Way arena to train, he would occasionally team up with Wu Yun and the other two to fight in the True World arena. Now, the group arena battle had already reached the 6th stage. He was only one step away from the 7th stage. However, the Origin World was still the Origin World, and it couldn't be compared to the Milky Way arena. In the Origin World, Lin Feng couldn't display the strength of his body and could only rely on his blade techniques and profound meaning to fight. His strength was greatly reduced. Stop flattering me. Lin Feng was already very familiar with the three of them. It's true, boss. Take my kneecap. Wu Yun was so excited that he danced with joy. You don't know, but just now I almost shouted myself hoarse in the spectator stands. You fought 2 powerhouses consecutively in the end. You were simply too awesome. Those were the top powerhouses of the 7 great empires. Xiang sighed. Huang Yi revealed a sweet smile. I already told you that Brother Zinni is the most powerful, but you didn't believe me. Of course, how could I not believe you? That Silver Weapon Empire's Qi Hua, Barbaric Empire's Qi Hu, and all the other favorites to win the championship are just trash in front of boss. Wu Yun laughed without the slightest scruple. All right, Zinni, you've already risen to the diamond rank, right? Lin Feng lightly nodded. After winning the 16th round of the 100 Holies Cup, in addition to the rewards, the arena's level had directly risen to the diamond rank. Diamond rank, the top of the diamond rank. Xiang couldn't help but sigh. I can't even reach the silver rank. I heard that the silver plate powerhouses of the diamond rank are all comparable to silver core powerhouses. That goes without saying. Wu Yun curled his lips. Zinni is much stronger than the silver core powerhouses of my family. Lin Feng modestly said, actually, he's not that powerful. Above the diamond rank, there's the king of sports ranking. They're the true limit of the silver plate powerhouses. It's not the same. Huang Yi interrupted. Those king of sports are actually martial artists who can never advance to the silver core level. Their talent is limited. Brother Zinni will definitely break through to the silver core level in the future. He'll be much stronger than them. That's right. Wu Yun said, Boss Zinni, when you become a top figure in the Milky Way one day, you have to take care of us. Lin Feng smiled. No problem, if that day comes. Me too, Xiang said. How can you forget me? Huang Yi pouted. Instantly, there was a burst of cheerful laughter. Wu Xiang's team had a deep friendship. 3 days later. How's it going, Wu Yun? Any news? Lin Feng asked. I tried the boss, but they weren't willing to accept. Wu Yun sighed softly. Madame Han's identity is too sensitive. She's living in the Wild Wolf Han family and is heavily guarded. There's more than one silver core powerhouse in the Wild Wolf Han family, and their power extends throughout the entire Black Wolf Gold Empire. Lin Feng sighed softly. A person's name was like a tree's shadow. The Wild Wolf Han family's influence was indeed too great. Even an assassin organization would have to think twice before acting against them. Assassins weren't afraid of death, but there were some enemies they couldn't afford to provoke. No one was willing to bring trouble to themselves. Can I increase it from 500,000 cosmos crystals to 1 million? Lin Feng asked again. He had money now. After joining the 100 Saints Martial Palace, he had obtained the privilege of being a special grade genius. One of them was 1 million cosmos crystals as a contract, which was 10 times more than a first-grade genius. It's not about money, Wu Yin said. I understand. Lin Feng was mentally prepared. Brother Ying had rejected him in the same way before and gave him a warning. Wild Wolf Han family, don't provoke them. Especially their patriarch, Han Peng, who was a mad wolf. He was usually ruthless, and if he was angered, he would become even crazier. Madame Han was his cousin, and he would protect her until the end. Looks like I can only rely on myself. Lin Feng cut off all hope. If you rely on a mountain, it will fall. If you rely on a man, he will run. You can only rely on yourself. Jin Shiqiang still has about 2.5 years to reach Earth. I'll take the strengthened level 7 universe ship from Black Gold Dock. It'll take at least 2 to 3 months, and at most half a year to reach Earth. There's still 2 years. Lin Feng thought. He had 2 years to prepare. By then, his chances would be much higher than now. Even though Madame Han was in the Wild Wolf Han family, and killing her was harder than ascending to the heavens, to Lin Feng, she was a thorn that he had to pull out. If he couldn't kill her, Earth would face endless dangers. 2 years. Lin Feng clenched his fist. He was confident that in another 2 years, his strength would reach the pinnacle of the diamond rank and be comparable to the king of esports. Chapter 1273. Geniuses remember love in 1 second divided by little. You can read all kinds of interesting novels. 2 years was enough for Lin Feng to make a lot of preparations. It was not easy for him to raise his strength from the level of the saber with his 8th tier saber heart. Lin Feng chose to cultivate the true dragon world force. After opening the 3rd chakra, the true dragon's essence transformed, and all that was left was sufficient energy. Hiss! Hiss! Lin Feng absorbed an endless stream of energy. Lin Feng had an endless supply of Aeon crystals, so he made the best use of them. His talent soul needed a shocking amount of energy to go from the realm C to the greater realm C, and he had to rely on the true dragon's essence to absorb it slowly. No matter how good his aptitude was, it would take thousands or even tens of thousands of years. From the realm C to the greater realm C, the endless realm C's energy turned into droplets of water, and the true dragon's essence formed an extreme sea of consciousness, gathering those droplets into a sea. Each droplet of energy contained a shocking amount of explosive power. They would form the foundation of the greater realm C. It was a qualitative upgrade. Just like the difference between a wooden house and a brick house, the materials used to build the house were different, and so were the houses. The greater realm C's energy was not only stronger and more refined, but its explosive power and might had also undergone a perfect metamorphosis compared to the realm C. I can cultivate the true dragon world's Yin Bing's 2nd attack now. The origin star realm's telekinesis was expanded, and Lin Feng's life level was elevated. Boom! The golden true dragon rose from the realm C and went straight up into the sky. The true dragon world's Yin Bing's attack power was boosted by the greater realm C, and it went straight for his opponent in the Milky Way arena, a diamond-level expert whose strength was comparable to a silver core expert. Love go little say, W. Chu Boom. A tall demonic expert was killed right away. His eyes were wide open, unable to imagine that his opponent's long-range attack would be so powerful. Lin Feng's figure flashed and left the arena. He won easily. Under the attack of the Greater Realm Sea, the True Dragon World's Yin Bing's first attack is comparable to a full Power Saber attack. Lin Feng was very satisfied. In terms of talent soul cultivation, he was already a silver core expert. Unlike saber attacks, however, the True Dragon World's Yin Bing's attack seemed of the True Dragon's Realm's attacks. Once the opponent figured it out, it would be difficult to unleash 100% of its power, assisting in the cultivation of other secret skills. Lin Feng already had a clear plan in mind. The main offensive force will be Yin Bing's second strike. True Dragon breaks the sea. The first strike was already so powerful. Lin Feng was looking forward to the power of the second move, True Dragon shattering the sea, which could only be cultivated in the Great Realm Sea. He took out the True Dragon scripture. It was the strongest scripture among the 9 scriptures left behind by his teacher. It was divided into the cultivation chapter, the secret technique chapter, and the origin chapter of the Realm Sea. Among them, the Realm Sea Yuan chapter wasn't very useful to Lin Feng. It mainly increased the efficiency of the Realm Sea Yuan, allowing him to absorb and transform the True Dragon realm energy faster. From the Realm Sea to the Great Realm Sea, from the Great Realm Sea to the Realm Ocean. Every step required an astonishing amount of realm energy. Even if one cultivates to the peak, an ordinary talent of the True Dragon's essence would still require 3,000 years of continuous cultivation in the Great Realm Sea. Lin Feng looked at the numbers in the World Codex and sighed. From the Great Realm Sea to the Realm Ocean, under the precondition of opening the 4th aperture, it would take 10 years. It took a long time. Fortunately, I don't need to cultivate for that long. For Lin Feng, cultivating the True Dragon Heart refining path require a longer time to open the 3rd and 4th apertures. Other than that, he had the energy of the universe crystal. He flipped through the secret technique chapter. There were many kinds of secret techniques of realm energy, such as the common offensive ones, illusions, controlling objects, soul attacks, and so on. There are also auxiliary ones and special ones. There were dozens of them recorded. There weren't many of them, but every secret technique was top-notch, which was why they were recorded in the True Dragon scripture. According to his teacher, the True Dragon Sovereign, it was better to learn everything than to learn everything. Excluding the small number of secret techniques that could only be cultivated after opening the 4th aperture. There were 37 of them left. Lin Feng looked through them carefully. Choice was very important. Because he didn't have time to cultivate too many secret techniques, 2 years passed in the blink of an eye. Every secret technique here was the essence. They were all top-notch in the Milky Way, but other people couldn't cultivate them. This was a secret technique specially created for the True Dragon realm energy. Strong origin strategy. Lin Feng read softly. This secret technique amplifies the True Dragon's origin to the greatest extent, extracting and releasing the True Dragon realm energy in the instant of an attack. At the initial stage, 50% amplification. At the intermediate stage, 100% amplification. At the advanced stage, 2 times amplification. At the peak stage, 3 times amplification. The True Dragon's origin was the hub between the Great Realm Sea and the outside world. The realm energy needed to attack had to be extracted from the Great Realm Sea through the True Dragon's origin. The foundation of strong origin strategy was to use the 3 apertures opened Heaven Hoshio. Like a turbocharger, it greatly increased the extraction. Condensed realm spin. Lin Feng read. Through a rapid spinning force, the realm energy in the Great Realm Sea will be temporarily compressed, eliminating the invisible barrier between the realm energy and connecting them closely. Single spin, realm energy can be increased by 9 times. Double spin, realm energy can be increased by 7 times. Third spin, realm energy can be increased by 3 times. Lin Feng quickly understood. The principle was very simple. Like 3 long springs, They couldn't enter an entrance that was only 1/3 of the spring's height side by side. At this time, they only needed to compress the springs, and they could easily enter. After leaving the entrance, they would return to their original state. If I cultivate strong origin strategy and condense realm spin to the extreme at the same time, it's equivalent to increasing the realm energy's power by 10 times. Lin Feng sighed. This was the power and terror of secret techniques, especially top secret techniques that were even more powerful to the extreme. However, from the cultivation method, it would take at least a few decades to cultivate any one of them to large success. If one only cultivated the surface, it would be better not to cultivate at all. The effect of the initial stage wasn't obvious. True Dragon's Great Illusion. Lin Feng's eyes lit up again. This technique was much more powerful than the one used by the cultivators from the Sky Illusion Empire. Wherever one's gaze swept across, everything would become an illusory land. The initial stage of this technique only had the ability to trap enemies. When one cultivated it to the intermediate stage, the illusory land would have the ability to create illusions. When one cultivated it to the advanced stage, they would be able to initiate attacks. If it reached large success, the power is unimaginable. Lin Feng was looking forward to it. With his willpower, it was actually very suitable for him to use the True Dragon's Great Illusion. Moreover, this wasn't just a simple illusion. It could also be used as a domain-like skill to complement other attacks. Lin Feng muttered to himself. The advantage of the True Dragon's Great Illusion was that it had a wide range of attack and was very powerful. The disadvantage was that it wasn't easy to cultivate. Now that 2 years had passed, he probably wouldn't be able to reach the intermediate stage even if he cultivated it again. Secret techniques that are too strong are also troublesome. Lin Feng mocked himself. The stronger the secret technique, the harsher the cultivation conditions, and the more difficult it was to cultivate. One article after another. Each secret technique tempted Lin Feng, but they were all somewhat inappropriate. Until Lin Feng's eyes lit up. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly, finally revealing a smile. This was it. To be continued. Chapter 1274. Number 1 Star Zone, Wild Wolf Han Family. Cousin, is there still no news? Lady Han might be a middle-aged woman, but she was still charming. Her noble temperament, especially since she came from a famous family, gave her a different kind of charm. Han Zhangpeng slammed the table and stood up. He said angrily, "That bastard from Black Gold Dock. If it wasn't for him not revealing any information, I would have captured him long ago." Breathing heavily, Han Zhangpeng was like a wolf king with his hair standing on end. Lady Han beside him also had fear in her eyes. "Don't worry, cousin." Han Zhangpeng looked over and said sternly, "I've already set up an inescapable net. If that brat dares to appear, I'll definitely capture him alive and bring him to you." "Thank you, cousin." Lady Han bit her lips, and a hint of seduction appeared in her eyes. Of course. We're family." Han Zhangpeng laughed arrogantly and hugged Lady Han with his large hands. "Cousin," Lady Han said coquettishly. A light breeze blew past, and Lady Han walked out of the charming palace, dressed in silk. There was still a hint of lust at the corners of her eyes, but her beautiful eyes were deep and filled with hatred. 12 years. Shauna has been dead for 12 years. Earth. Lady Han bit her lips until they turned purple. Thinking about the message great ancestor Jin Sheng gave her before he died, and thinking about her son's tragic death, Lady Han's chest heaved and her expression changed. How could she not be worried? That was why she chose to stay in Wild Wolf Han Family. At least she did not need to worry about her safety here. No one would be so daring. Wild Wolf Han Family was one of the 3 great families in Black Wolf Gold Empire, and Han Zhangpeng had the final say here. "Shauna, don't worry. Mother will definitely avenge you, definitely. I will bathe Earth in blood and kill all the people on Earth to accompany you. None of them will have a good death." Lady Han was like a furious she-wolf, baring her fangs and brandishing her claws as she bared her fangs. Deep hatred was hidden in her blood-red eyes. In the dark night, Wild Wolf Han Family was a huge territory. There were Han family martial artists guarding everywhere. They were all silver spiral elites, and a leader was a silver plate elite. Cosmic system states were a dime a dozen to the Han family. Fortunately, Wild Wolf Han worships brute force and not technology. A black figure appeared at the intersection between the two walls. It was Lin Feng. The possibility of sneaking into a family territory protected by technology was almost zero. However, it was different for a family territory protected by martial artists. Even a lion would take a nap sometimes, not to mention that Lin Feng had a unique secret skill. Dragon concealment. Lin Feng's eyes flashed. Not only did he conceal his figure, but he also concealed his aura. Although he hadn't reached the large success stage, using the secret skill Dragon Concealment was enough to make Lin Feng invisible. Martial artists of the same level wouldn't be able to detect him. Lin Feng was now a silver core. In the Black Wolf Gold Empire, the strongest warriors were only at the silver core level, such as Han Jianping. Whoosh! Lin Feng took a step forward and actually walked towards the heavily guarded entrance. Sometimes, the more dangerous a place was, the safer it was. Under the eyes of a group of martial artists, Lin Feng turned into a ray of light and directly entered the Han family's residence. His figure disappeared, but the martial artists guarding the entrance were still standing there blankly. Teacher's secret skill is indeed very useful. Lin Feng entered silently. In the past year, he had cultivated 2 secret skills, and Dragon Concealment was one of them. Once he entered, the Han family's residence emitted a ruthless and violent aura. This was the territory of the 3 great families of the Black Wolf Gold Empire. Normal people couldn't wait to admire them, so how would they dare to barge in? I wonder where Madame Han is. Lin Feng entered the Han family's residence. Han family's martial artists could be seen everywhere. However, the secret skill Dragon Concealment that even silver core warriors might not be able to see through, so normal silver spiral and silver plate warriors wouldn't be able to see through it. Lin Feng increased his speed. 7th team, patrol the east of Jinghua Garden. 8th team, patrol the south of Shaking Luo Hall. 9th team, a man who looked like a commander was meticulously assigning tasks. Teams of martial artists left to carry out their tasks. Very soon, all the martial artists in the small teams had left. These bastards, I can't stop watching them, the muscular man cursed. At that moment, he didn't see that there was a black figure standing behind him. Suddenly, a terrifying power attacked the back of his head. The muscular man widened his eyes in shock. He didn't even have time to react before his head fell into a pool of blood with his mouth wide open. Lin Feng's figure appeared. The effect of Dragon Concealment was not bad, but it would be exposed once the battle started. He should know where Madame Han is. Lin Feng's consciousness entered the muscular man's mind and forcefully devoured his soul. Just as he expected, this muscular man was called Han Kuei, and he was one of the 4 commanders of the guards. Madame Han lives in Jinghua Garden. After Lin Feng received the information, he didn't continue to devour Han Kuei's soul, because there was no need to. He directly destroyed the corpse to prevent future troubles. Following the path in Han Kuei's memory, Lin Feng quickly headed towards Jinghua Garden. Jinghua Garden was not far from Mad Wolf Palace. Only important guests would be arranged to stay in Jinghua Garden. Looks like Han Jianping takes good care of Madame Han. Lin Feng's killing intent became stronger. The closer the two were, the higher the possibility of Madame Han revealing Earth secrets. Mad Wolf Han family was not as easy to deal with as Golden Dragon Tribe. Their private territory alone was 10,000 galaxies, and their population was 10,000 times more than Golden Dragon Tribe's. Black Wolf Gene Empire's power spread across the 13 big star zones and 8,000 small star zones. They were in charge of guarding the star zones. Luckily, Lin Feng's target was only Madame Han. This is Jinghua Garden. Lin Feng stood under the shade of a tree. The night covered the beautiful purple-blue garden. In this beautiful garden, there were many palaces for the distinguished guests of Mad Wolf Han family. Madame Han. Lin Feng had already received information about Madame Han from Dark Cloud. The security of Jinghua Garden was even tighter than that of Mad Wolf Han family. There were only two entrances, and both were heavily guarded. Looks like today is destined to be a bloody day. Lin Feng let out a faint smile. Even though he was surrounded by enemies, he was not afraid at all. The purple light in his hand shone along with his eyes. In an instant, it turned into a giant purple bell floating in the air. Look, what's that? Is it an illusion? Why is there a purple bell in the sky? The martial artists guarding the gate of Jinghua Garden were stunned. More than a dozen of them, including the silver-plate elites, were filled with suspicion and wariness. Suddenly, the purple bell vibrated slightly, and a low demonic sound appeared. Dong, 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 the strange bell sound played a depressing tune. Hearing it, one would feel as if their meridians were about to break, and they were mentally and physically exhausted. Shwa, shwa, shwa. The martial artist's expressions changed drastically. What was that? Purple eye demonic funeral bell, purple eye funeral music. Lin Feng's figure slowly appeared from Hidden Dragon. Chapter 1275. This was the strongest ability of the purple-eyed demon death knell. It could only be used when the third chakra was opened. Not only had Lin Feng opened his third chakra, but his consciousness had also transformed into the Great Realm Sea. Not only could he cultivate faster, but he could also use it as he pleased. The sound of the bell turned into a funeral song, piercing into the ears of every guard like needles. Blood flowed out of their 7 orifices, and they fell to the ground one by one. Their eyes were filled with fear and shock. They didn't know what had happened until they died. Lin Feng swept his right hand, and the dark stallion's origin was destroyed without any trace. Lin Feng opened the door and walked in. The power of the true dragon realm seeped out and spread through the entire Essence Garden. Inside the Essence Garden, Han Jianping lay on a soft bed. His upper body was naked, and his muscles were like chains. 3 maids were massaging him carefully on the bed. They were nervous and terrified. There was still a lingering scent in the palace. It was obvious that they had just done it not long ago. Suddenly, a strong current surged out of Han Jianping's body, and the 3 maids were sent flying, causing them to cry out in pain. Han Jianping stood up like a wolf king, his eyes shining brightly. Am I mistaken? Han Jianping frowned. The 3 maids were lying on the ground in a disorderly manner. All of them were injured. No, it's a silver core realm force cultivator. As strong as Han Jianping was, he could vaguely feel it. His expression turned serious. Suddenly, Han Jianping quivered, and his eyes shone with a fierce light. You must be tired of living. Like a shooting star, Han Jianping shot out violently. The night wind was bleak and desolate. Pieces of purplish-blue leaves drifted down with the wind, reflecting the tranquility of the Essence Garden. However, the silence was abruptly broken by the sound of something breaking through the air. The true dragon realm's Yin Bing. A golden dragon soared into the sky and attacked Lady Han in the garden. The latter's face turned pale, and she couldn't react in time. Although she was a Silver Plate Realm elite practitioner, she was too weak against a Silver Core Realm attack. It would be easy for this sudden attack to kill Lady Han. But you're courting death. A ruthless roar resounded through the air. The appearance of a wild wolf appeared in the void, its hair standing on end. A golden hammer flew over with a loud rumble, creating a strong airflow that messed up the entire space. Pung! Before True Dragon World's Yin Bing's attack could hit Lady Han, it was intercepted by the golden hammer. However, they only managed to stop a portion of it. Lin Feng's eyes shone with a phosphorescent light. He bent and broke his arms, and a portion of the golden dragon still managed to pass through the golden hammers and head straight for Lady Han. No! Lady Han was hysterical and tried her best to resist. Her strong desire to live caused her bloodline to erupt. After all, she was a descendant of the wild wolf Han family. Boom! Lin Feng's attack shattered the berserk wolf statue that Lady Han was protecting. It also caused Lady Han to cough up blood and fall to the ground. She was heavily injured, but it was not enough to kill her. Cousin, Han Jianping's eyes were bloodshot, and his anger boiled. He raised the other golden hammer in his hand, causing thunder to rumble. How dare you barge into the wild wolf Han family and hurt my cousin? If I let you leave this place alive, I will write my name backwards. Huh. Han Jianping gritted his teeth in anger. As a silver core elite and the patriarch of the wild wolf Han family, Han Jianping not only had an outstanding bloodline, his battle prowess was also not to be outdone. His hammer technique was exquisite, and every time he swung it, it would cause lightning to crackle and the air to spin and freeze. There's a suction force. Lin Feng retreated. Han Jianping's attacks seemed to have a magnetic field. The instant he attacked, he would pull his enemy into his range. But this was not his strongest point. Han Jianping's strongest point was still his bloodline. The berserk wolf in the air seemed to be providing him with endless power, causing his aura to surge. Once he fell into his battle rhythm, he would be in trouble. Secret technique, True Dragon of Tai Chi, Lin Feng immediately counterattacked. In the past year or so, he had spent the most effort on these two secret techniques. The one he had mastered the best was the True Dragon of Tai Chi Puff. Under Lin Feng's feet, it was as if he was stepping on the 8 trigrams of yin and yang. One black and one white formed the image of Tai Chi in the center of Tai Chi. The golden dragon faintly merged with Lin Feng. My hammer. Han Jianping's expression changed. His hammer was affected by an invisible force. The invisible realm force changed his movements. This guy is actually a silver core realm cultivator? He did not expect this at all. At this moment, Han Jianping had already recognized Lin Feng. It was the young man who slaughtered the Golden Dragon clan. However, at that time, Lin Feng used a blade and not realm force. No wonder you have the guts to break into my wild wolf Han family. You don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Han Jianping's eyes became more and more ferocious. As he roared, his bloodline completely erupted. The berserk wolf in the air condensed into a solid form. Han Jianping's body expanded. Wolf stripes and fur appeared all over his body, making him look like a monster. How? Han Jianping showed his astonishing body. Die, little bastard. Han Jianping grabbed 2 golden hammers and fearlessly entered Lin Feng's Tai Chi circle. He wanted to kill Lin Feng with absolute strength. Moreover, when facing a realm force cultivator, pulling away was the most dangerous thing. True Dragon Golden Body, Stage 3. Lin Feng had already activated the Hating Heaven state. The sinful black blade flashed in his hand. Lin Feng was a silver plate realm martial artist. His strength had already reached the diamond realm. He was comparable to a normal silver core realm martial artist. In the area of the secret technique, True Dragon Tai Chi, he could increase his battle power even more. Although Han Jianping was very strong, Lin Feng was not afraid of him. Since he dared to break into the tiger's den, he naturally had a certain degree of confidence. Lin Feng's blade and Han Jianping's golden hammers collided, causing lightning to strike. Both of them were compatible with the profound meaning of thunder. However, Han Jianping was compatible with the 6-star profound meaning, which was much stronger. However, the result was that they were evenly matched. This kid's physical strength is terrifying. He is just like a demon. Han Jianping did not expect that he, a silver core realm martial artist, would be completely outclassed when he activated all of his bloodline power. If it were not for his profound meaning and origin cultivation, he would have been at a disadvantage. Suddenly, Han Jianping's expression changed. The black and white Tai Chi pattern under his feet stretched out and controlled him tightly. In front of him, another heavy blade light came. Han Jianping was furious. Do you really think that I can't beat you? Han Jianping's anger rose again. The collision of 2 powerful forces caused lightning to strike the ground. Boom! Han Jianping was more violent. This time, he clearly had the upper hand. Han Jianping's face was filled with pride. Just as he was about to unleash a series of attacks, his eyes suddenly widened. A golden dragon whizzed past his ear. The golden dragon's claws were shining with killing intent. No! Han Jianping turned his head and glared at him. True Dragon Realm Yin Bing's second attack. True Dragon breaks the sea. As Lin Feng retreated, he executed a sure kill move and went straight for the heavily injured Lady Han. Boom! The Golden Dragon swallowed Lady Han. Chapter 1276. Even Han Jianping would find it hard to block Lin Feng's full power attack, not to mention Lady Han, who was already heavily injured. The Golden Dragon turned into a flash of lightning and swallowed Lady Han whole. "I will kill you." Han Jianping was already in a berserk state, so he became even crazier. He was infatuated with Lady Han, and seeing the woman he loved being killed in front of him was like a pain in his spine. His eyes were bloodshot. The golden hammers split the sky and earth. Every time they smashed, a huge hole would appear on the ground. The entire Jinghua garden was smashed into pieces. Powerful indeed. Lin Feng used the secret technique Tai Chi True Dragon and fought against Han Jianping with his blade techniques. Although he was only at the silver plate level, his battle power was comparable to the silver core level. With the help of the Tai Chi True Dragon, he wasn't at a disadvantage. Lin Feng, who could call the wind and summon the rain in the Milky Way arena, naturally had shocking battle power. In the beginning, he was forced by Han Jianping to kill Lady Han. But now, he had to use his full power. Purple eye suppression. Lin Feng's strength came from his dual cultivation of realm power and Tao of origin. It was like two Lin Feng with similar strength fighting against one Han Jianping, so he naturally had the advantage. The giant purple bell fell, and the Tai Chi diagram under Han Jianping's feet enlarged and spun rapidly. The power of the secret technique combined with the power of the Great Realm Sea. "Go away!" Han Jianping was trapped and was unusually violent. He used his golden hammers to attack the purple demon funeral bell. Quattro Holy Execution. Lin Feng's attacks came wave after wave, and the pressure from the golden Shiva statue increased. Realm power was mainly used as support, and his main attack was still infinite blade technique. This was Lin Feng's best attack in the diamond-level Milky Way arena, and he was a close combat type. Pung! Pung! Han Jianping retreated and fought, his face pale. How is this possible? Fear, shock, disbelief, all kinds of emotions appeared in Han Jianping's mind. He didn't think much of Lin Feng before. How strong could a silver plate level guy be? But after the real fight, he realized that it was completely different from what he had imagined. He had the strength of a silver core and many nebula grade treasures, yet he was still at a disadvantage in a one-on-one battle. If it weren't for his cosmic system state treasure, he would have been heavily injured. Searing flame shield. In front of Han Jianping, a blazing shield appeared. On top of it was a malevolent monster that seemed to be breathing fire. Lin Feng's saber smashed down, and in a split second, a huge rebound force was transmitted. Bang! 3 streams of flames shot out from the shield. Dark Cross. The instant Lin Feng retreated, he erupted with the profound meaning of the fusion of the Great Cross limit and the darkness origin. The pitch-black darkness swallowed the flames, and an elite cross broke through the shield. Bang! What a strong defense. Lin Feng also felt troubled. Even with the full power of his saber, he still wasn't able to break through Han Jianping's shield. However, the force of the impact still impacted Han Jianping's body, causing him to vomit blood and retreat. Whoosh! Lin Feng sped forward. The shield could defend against mid-range attacks, but in close-range combat, the shield was not very useful. Tai Chi True Dragon. Lin Feng instantly shrunk the protective area of the secret skill. An invisible force pulled him and Han Jianping together. On the other side, Han Jianping's expression changed. He, who was already at his limit, was now even more terrified. "Kill! Come here and kill him!" With a hysterical roar, Han Jianping opened his eyes wide like a ferocious wolf king. At this moment, his eyes were filled with fear. He didn't want to die. Wild Wolf Han family's alarm had already rung out, and a large group of Han family's martial artists rushed over from all directions. The martial artists who were close to them had already arrived. Even though there were only 2 or 3 of them, they were still powerful warriors of the Silver Plate realm. When they saw that their clan leader was asking for help, they immediately protected him loyally. However, Howl! A huge space beast suddenly appeared. The ground shook. It was covered in a layer of skeleton armor. Its pair of ferocious eyes were filled with intelligence. Its huge body displayed shocking destructive power, and its tail waved with saber intent. Tyrant Dragon Clone. Chi. Chi. It waved its two claws. It was actually Lin Feng's infinite saber technique. One saber boundary. With the Tyrant Dragon Clone's physique, the quick slash was not inferior in power. In the blink of an eye, the cat was killed in 2 or 3 moves. At this moment, the Tai Chi True Dragon was spinning rapidly. Lin Feng and Han Jianping were already close to each other. Han Jianping's face was pale as he launched a crazy attack. After all, he was the patriarch of the Mad Wolf Han family. Even if he was forced into a corner by Lin Feng, how could he lose so easily? However, in terms of absolute power and momentum, Lin Feng had the absolute advantage. Han Jianping's defeat entered the final countdown. Kill, kill, kill. The Tyrant Dragon avatar entered a state of complete slaughter, and its murderous eyes became even more excited. Slaughter could make the Tyrant Dragon avatar even more powerful. It was different from Lin Feng's main body's overlord battle prowess. The Tyrant Dragon avatar's battle prowess was slaughter. In the midst of slaughter, he could display his might even more. 1 against 100. The Tyrant Dragon clone showed its absolute power for the first time in the core area of the Black Wolf Gold Empire. Its battle power was only slightly weaker than Lin Feng's main body. However, in a group battle, it was even stronger. All the elites were sent out. The Mad Wolf Han family suffered thousands of casualties. This night was destined to be the night of humiliation for the Mad Wolf Han family. The entire family base was turned upside down by Lin Feng alone. The strongest warrior in the family, Han Jianping, was heavily injured. If it wasn't for his powerful bloodline, he would have been defeated already. No, Han Jianping was terrified. The guardian necklace in front of his chest turned into a clear stream of water and blocked the fatal attack for him. Crack! The armor on his body shattered. Han Jianping's face was pale. He used the last of his strength to push Lin Feng away, but he had already lost all of his battle power. He fell to the ground with a loud bang. His eyes were filled with fear and unwillingness. He, Han Jianping, the patriarch of the Mad Wolf Han family, one of the top 100 super warriors in the Black Wolf Gold Empire, he was beaten like a dog and didn't even have the power to fight back. The veins on his fists popped out. It was a deep humiliation. I can't accept this. Han Jianping roared in his heart. He was like a proud wolf king who shed tears of dignity because he knew that he would be killed by Lin Feng in the next second and become a laughingstock of the Mad Wolf Han family. Lin Feng wasn't injured. The consumption of energy was nothing to him. Lin Feng didn't hide his killing intent at all. He would rather kill the wrong person than let him go. With Han Jianping's relationship with Madame Han, he might know the secrets of Earth. Killing him would end everything. Plus, even if he let him go, he wouldn't let him go. Lin Feng would never be merciful to his enemies. True Dragon breaking the sea. Lin Feng used his boundary weapon to attack as he retreated. A golden dragon flew out from the True Dragon essence, as if it had come out from the ocean. It broke the restraints of the ocean and showed off its endless power. Roar! The golden dragon flew towards Han Jianping. Chapter 1277. He couldn't fight back at all. Right now, Han Jianping couldn't resist at all. All of his defensive treasures had been shattered by Lin Feng, along with the glory of the Wild Wolf Han family. Facing Lin Feng's deadly attack, Han Jianping was filled with hatred and unwillingness. At this moment, a flash of light suddenly appeared. Dang! It was a mirror made of water. The sudden appearance of the mirror dissipated most of Lin Feng's attack, and the remaining force hit Han Jianping. Han Jianping's pupils dilated, and his chest was shattered. He vomited blood, and his life was uncertain. Lin Feng frowned slightly. He felt an extremely powerful presence approaching. A man in a dark blue shirt appeared in the sky far away, like a deep blue lake. It was him who had blocked the attack for Han Jianping. There's more than one. Lin Feng turned his head to look. On the other side, an elder in a loose robe appeared. His back was hunched, but he gave people a terrifying feeling. Over there, Lin Feng looked to his right and saw a demon woman with sharp eyes. Her bronze skin accentuated her curvaceous figure. She held a thorny whip in her hand, and her eyes were filled with a demonic aura. Shoo! 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 Instantly, more than 10 silver core warriors arrived. Most of them were not as powerful as Han Jianping, but some of them were even stronger. Most importantly, they had a lot of people. Each of them had the symbol of the Black Wolf Gene Empire on their chest. You can't escape, the man in the dark blue shirt said coldly. Kakik. The hunchbacked elder let out a creepy laugh. Kid, you've got guts. You dare to mess with the Wild Wolf Han family alone. But you've forgotten that this is not only the Wild Wolf Han family, but also the biggest star zone of the Black Wolf Gene Empire. The biggest star zone. That was the face of the Black Wolf Gene Empire. If Lin Feng messed it up and left after killing tens of thousands of people, where would the Black Wolf Gene Empire's face go? What was the point of having laws and regulations? Who are you? Lin Feng asked. Wolf Clan. The man in the dark blue jacket said, I am Blue Wolf Shaoli. Old Wolf Kwang South, the hunchbacked old man sneered. We're the first Wolf Clan squad and are relatively close. In a while, the second Wolf Clan squad and the third Wolf Clan squad will arrive. Kid, I advise you to surrender. Lin Feng's eyes flashed. He had heard Wu Yin mention the Wolf Clan before. This was a hidden force of the Black Wolf Gold Empire. It was responsible for maintaining the order and protection of the Black Wolf Gold Empire. It was made up of 33 wolf squads. Every member of the squad was a silver core expert and was supported by the Empire. He didn't expect to meet her under such circumstances. Just as old Wolf Kwang so had said, with his own strength, it was difficult for two fists to fight against four hands. He could not escape even if he wanted to. Even if there was only a 1% chance of defeating these silver core warriors, there would be more wolf squads coming. So, you want to catch me? Lin Feng stood there with a faint smile on his face. Do you think you can escape? The long-whipped female demon sneered. Don't talk nonsense with him. Captain, Vice Captain, give the order. He's just a kid. We can catch him easily. A man holding a sword in martial attire said disdainfully. Do you want to surrender, or do you want us to do it? Blue Wolf Shaoli said arrogantly. You can choose to do it. Lin Feng said casually, neither servile nor overbearing. A light flashed in his right hand, and a small round object appeared out of thin air. He gently pressed it on his chest armor, and a white light shone. A mark of a palace appeared on Lin Feng's chest. Looking at it carefully, there seemed to be something engraved on the outermost circle of the mark. What was this? The members of the first Wolf Clan squad were shocked. Even though they had seen many things, they had never seen such a totem mark before. What the hell? The man holding a sword in martial attire frowned. None of the famous families in the Black Wolf Gold Empire have such a mark. The long-whipped female demon said, Captain, don't listen to him. Catch him. Yes, Captain, don't talk nonsense with him. The members of the Wolf Clan squad had always been arrogant and didn't care about ordinary families. They were directly under the Black Wolf Gold Empire and had a high status. What was the point of catching a person? Captain Blue Wolf Shao Li thought hard and looked at Vice Captain Old Wolf Kwang South. The latter scratched his head from time to time as if he had thought of something but couldn't remember. He rubbed his ears anxiously and kept muttering to himself. Suddenly, Old Wolf Kwang so opened his eyes wide and straightened his hunched back. Whoosh! Old Wolf Kwang so jumped down and stepped in front of Lin Feng. He stared at the mark on Lin Feng's chest and opened his mouth wider and wider. His expression became more and more exaggerated, and his body trembled slightly. This can't be Dongwang Empires. As soon as he said that, the members of the first Wolf Clan squad changed their expressions. Especially Captain Blue Wolf Shaoli, who was even more shocked. 100 Saints Martial Hall, Lin Feng said. In an instant, the entire Jinghua Garden was dead silent. The warriors of the Wild Wolf Han family didn't dare to interrupt. At this time, everyone in the first Wolf Clan squad was stunned and shocked. 100 Saints Martial Hall. That was a famous force in the Dongwang Empire. Everyone knew about it. It was said that only the most elite warriors in the Milky Way galaxy were recruited. They were the backbone of the Dongwang Empire and represented the glory and prestige of the Dongwang Empire. It's really the 100 Saints Martial Hall. Old Wolf Kwong so murmured with reverence. It said that the Mark of the 100 Saints Marshall Hall has a portrait of the 100 Saints. It's true. On the mark on Lin Feng's chest, the outermost circle was carved with the portrait of the 100 Saints, which represented the 100 Saints Marshall Hall. It can't be. Yeah. How can he be from the 100 Saints Marshall Hall? It must be fake. Some warriors in the Wolf Clan squad couldn't believe it. Why would someone from the 100 Saints Marshall Hall come to the Black Wolf Gold Empire? It didn't make sense. Are you really from the 100 Saints Marshall Hall? Blue Wolf Xiao Li's voice was no longer as arrogant and conceited as before. He jumped down and slowly walked towards Lin Feng with a serious expression. You can choose not to believe it, Lin Feng said indifferently. Choose not to believe it? Blue Wolf Xiao Li's face twitched. What if it was true? It was the 100 Saints Marshall Hall. The top 10 families of the Dongwang Empire were basically comparable to the Black Wolf Gold Empire. The 100 Saints Marshall Hall was a superforce that was second only to one person. It could destroy the Black Wolf Gold Empire with just a word. The strongest warriors in the Black Wolf Gold Empire were only Silver Core warriors. However, anyone from the 100 Saints Marshall Hall was already a Silver Core warrior. Silver Core warriors were nothing in the 100 Saints Marshall Hall. The 100 Saints Marshall Hall was a superforce with many saints. Who would dare to take the risk? Chapter 1278. All of a sudden, catch him! A muffled roar sounded out. Han Zhanpeng, who was covered in blood, stood up shakily. His blood-red eyes were filled with hatred and anger. Blue Wolf, catch him! As the patriarch of the Han family, Han Zhanpeng had a very high status in both the First Star Zone and the entire Black Wolf Gene Empire. Blue Wolf Xiao Li, Old Wolf Kwong So, and other experts were still inferior to him. However, the Wolf Clan did not obey Han Zhanpeng. They only obeyed the royal family of the Black Wolf Gene Empire. Blue Wolf, Old Wolf, are you deaf? Han Zhanpeng did not have the demeanor of an expert anymore. His armor was broken, and he could not even stand steadily. As the patriarch of a clan, he was in such a miserable state. This, Blue Wolf Xiao Li and Old Wolf Kwong So were in a dilemma. Han Zhanpeng's words were indeed stressful, but the mysterious young man in front of them made them even more afraid to act rashly. Although they did not believe that the young man in front of them was from the 100 Saints Martial Temple of the Dongwang Empire, they could not be too careful. What if he was? Catching the warriors of the 100 Saints Martial Temple? How many lives did they have to pay? At this time, Lin Feng was very calm. It was as if he had everything under control. He just quietly looked at the experts of the Black Wolf Gene Empire and then looked at Han Zhanpeng. What a pity. Lin Feng sighed in his heart. If Blue Wolf Xiao Li had not arrived, Han Zhanpeng would have been a corpse now. Sometimes, everything was destined. Judging from his appearance, he should not know the secret of Earth. It was easy for Lin Feng to kill Han Zhanpeng, but he could not do it under the eyes of the experts of the Wolf Clan. Oh, Lin Feng murmured and looked into the distance. In just a short while, more than 10 Silver Core experts had arrived as fast as lightning. The First Star Zone was indeed the face of the Black Wolf Gold Empire. Silver Core experts that couldn't be seen in other star zones always showed up here. Dead Wolf, Blue Wolf Xiao Li greeted. It was the 15 experts of the 3rd Wolf Clan group. The leader, Dead Wolf, had a ghastly pale complexion. He was like a devil that had crawled up from hell, and his body emitted a horrifying aura of death. What's going on? Dead Wolf's voice was bone-chilling. Catch that, brat. Dead Wolf has violated the laws of the Empire and barged into my Han residence, killing countless people. Han Zhanpeng roared with a sharp voice, his eyes wide open. Kill him, and I'll give you 100,000 Cosmos crystals. No, 1,000,000 Cosmos crystals. Dead Wolf's eyes flashed. He was greedy, but he wasn't stupid. He looked at Blue Wolf Xiao Li and waited for an answer. This young man claims to be from 100 Saints Martial Palace, Blue Wolf Xiao Li said helplessly. 100 Saints Martial Palace? Dead Wolf's eyelids couldn't help but twitch. His cold eyes looked over and sized up Lin Feng. Suddenly, he caught a glimpse of the symbol on Lin Feng's chest and couldn't help but frown. Is the logo real? Blue Wolf Shally asked. Dead Wolf said in a deep voice, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. The 7 empires at the center of the Milky Way were the giants of the Milky Way. Compared to them, the Black Wolf Gold Empire was nothing. There were 77 empires on the pole arm, and they were constantly changing. However, the 7 empires in the Milky Way had always been standing tall. The 100 Saints Martial Palace of the Dongwang Empire had a much longer history than the Black Wolf Gold Empire. Kill! Dead Wolf, kill him! Han Zhanpeng seemed to have gone mad. He kept shouting as if he was grasping at straws, his face distorted. Dead Wolf frowned deeper and deeper. He suddenly turned around and looked at Han Zhanpeng with his cold eyes. Are you done shouting? If you want to kill him yourself. You're the leader of a clan. Don't act like a woman. All of a sudden, the experts of the Wolf clan burst into laughter. Han Zhanpeng's face turned pale. He was so angry that he trembled and couldn't speak. The situation was in a temporary stalemate. Soon, the 2nd and 4th squads of the Wolf clan arrived. Hundreds of silver core experts gathered together. They were definitely a powerful force of the Black Wolf Gold Empire. They surrounded Lin Feng, but they were too afraid to move. The symbol on Lin Feng's chest was like a god, and they didn't dare to offend him. Until his arrival. Swoosh! 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 The silver core experts led the way. A young man in a noble robe walked in with his head held high. Beside him were silver core experts. They were expressionless and meticulous. His appearance made the experts of the Wolf clan bow slightly. The members of the Han family of the Wild Wolf clan even knelt on one knee. Greetings, Third Prince. Greetings, Third Prince. The one who shouted in unison and made the silver core experts bow down was the royal family of the Black Wolf Gold Empire, the member of the Black Wolf Gold royal family. The young man in a luxurious robe in front of them had arrogance between his eyebrows. He was the 3rd son of the king of the Black Wolf Gold Empire, 3rd Prince Sayin. His position was extremely respected. Speak. What happened? 3rd Prince Sayin stared at Blue Wolf. As the leader of the Wolf clan's first squad, Blue Wolf had already informed 3rd Prince Sayin and waited for him to deal with it. Yes, 3rd Prince. Blue Wolf Xiao Li quickly explained the situation in detail. 3rd Prince Sayin frowned slightly. On the other side, Han Zhanpeng had already knelt on the ground with a thud. He lowered his head and shouted, Your Highness, please uphold justice for the Wild Wolf Han family. Sayin's expression was serious. He wanted to fight for the throne, and the Han family of the Wild Wolf clan was his strong supporter. He could not help them. Speak. Sayin coldly shouted at Lin Feng. What is your name? Lin Feng. Lin Feng smiled slightly. Sayin coldly said, You said you are a warrior of the 100 Saints Martial Hall. What proof do you have? Here. Lin Feng pointed at the symbol on his chest. Sayin coldly snorted. Who knows if this thing is real or fake? How hard is it to fake one? Lin Feng smiled and replied, Indeed, it is not hard. There wasn't much skill in creating an identity badge. It was actually very easy to create an identical one. However, once caught, the consequences would be unimaginable. Sayin coldly said, So you are the only one who admits that it is fake. I didn't say that. Lin Feng smiled and said, How dare you? Sayin roared and interrupted Lin Feng's words. You dare to use the identity of the 100 Saints Martial Hall to pass off as a fake. This is an unforgivable crime. Men, capture him. Sayin was quite scheming. He didn't mention anything about the Han family of the Wild Wolf clan. Instead, he used a fake identity to capture Lin Feng. Even if Lin Feng was really from the 100 Saints Martial Hall, he could use this as an excuse. Blue Wolf, Dead Wolf, Old Wolf, and the other experts heard this and didn't hesitate anymore. Since it was the 3rd Prince's order, they would naturally obey. However, when they saw Lin Feng's confident expression, they felt inexplicably uneasy. And Lin Feng raised his head and his eyes flashed. It is about time. It is time. Chapter 1279. Whoosh! Blue Wolf, Old Wolf, Death Wolf, and Mirror Wolf attacked at the same time. It was their duty to serve His Highness. Sayin looked at Lin Feng as if he was looking at an ant. On the other side, Han Zhongping smiled ferociously as he clawed at Lin Feng. He wanted to tear Lin Feng into pieces. He couldn't wait any longer. At this moment, boom, the entire space shook violently as if the sky was falling. What's going on? Third Prince Sa'in had a puzzled look on his face. Blue Wolf, Dead Wolf, and the other experts forcibly stopped their attacks. Their expressions changed. They were much more knowledgeable than Third Prince Sa'in. Only a spaceship could cause such a tremor. A top-notch spaceship. Legend has it that its performance was close to that of an interstellar battleship. There were 12 series of galactic-level spaceships, ranging from Series 1 to Pi. Lin Feng's enhanced Level 7 spaceship was the 7th series. It could reach 5 times the speed of light in the dark matter space. The best Pi spaceship could reach 100 times the speed of light in the dark matter space. But this was still not the limit. There were interstellar battleships on the spaceship, and every interstellar battleship could reach 1,000 times the speed of light in the dark matter space. From Pi to interstellar battleships, there was another series called 13 series spaceships, also known as super series spaceships. The speed in the dark matter space was between 100 times the speed of light and 1,000 times the speed of light. This tremor came from the super series spaceship. We're finally here. Lin Feng's lips curled into a smile as he looked up at the sky where the wind and clouds had suddenly changed. The loud sound came from the 100 Saints martial temple of the Dongwang Empire. Due to the distance, it took them 2 years to reach the Black Wolf Gold Empire. And this was the source of Lin Feng's confidence to break into the Wild Wolf Han family. With the 100 Saints martial temple behind him, he had nothing to fear. Buzz, 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 the space was torn apart as a shrill sound was heard. It was like thunder, and the movement was shocking. Whoosh, the group of Black Wolf Gold Empire experts, led by Sa'in, stared dumbfoundedly at the colossal object in the sky. The pitch-black metallic light and the ferocious appearance of a prehistoric giant beast covered the entire sky. This spaceship was bigger than a few dozen space beasts. Its appearance shocked the first star zone of the Black Wolf Gold Empire. All the warriors looked up at the sky with their mouths wide open. Ji Lai widened his eyes in disbelief. This is a spaceship. It's a fortress of war. A super system spaceship. Lin Feng saw the huge 100 Saints Marshall Hall logo on the top of the spaceship. Lin Feng wasn't the only one who saw it. Blue Wolf, Mad Wolf, Dead Wolf, and the other Wolf Clan experts all saw it. Now, what else is there not to understand? Damn it. The third prince, Sa'in, frowned. He angrily glared at Han Zhongping, who was at a loss of what to do. Fortunately, I held back. Otherwise, I would have been killed by this idiot. Whoosh, a white light that reached the sky lit up, illuminating the Wild Wolf Han mansion. A purplish gold disk opened at the base of the super cosmic spaceship. Beams of light shot down, and the huge disk slowly sank. More than 10 warriors in different outfits appeared on top of it. The leader was a devilishly handsome man with pointy ears and pale skin. Patter, the purplish gold disk, landed on the ground. Led by the devilishly handsome man, more than 10 warriors spread out in a row. Each of them exuded an astonishing aura. The weakest among them was a silver core warrior, and the devilishly handsome man's aura was even stronger. Silver core expert. Each of them had an identity badge that was identical to Lin Feng's on their chests. The inner layer was an ancient and majestic palace. It was solemn and majestic. Outside, it were the heads of 100 saints. Greetings, lords. Blue Wolf reacted the fastest and knelt on one knee. Dead Wolf, Mad Wolf, and the other Wolf Clan experts knelt down. Although they had a high status in the Black Wolf Gold Empire, the 7 empires of the Milky Way were the true masters of the Milky Way. Black Wolf Third Prince Jean and Sa'in greet the lords. Sa'in had a flattering smile on his face as he bowed respectfully to the 100 Saints Marshall Hall's experts led by the handsome, devilish man. Lords, you must have come a long way. How about? Sa'in said. Swish, swish. The devilishly handsome man walked past Sa'in without even glancing at him. Behind the handsome man were 2 tall and muscular devil race experts. They completely ignored Sa Yin as well. The corner of Sa Yin's mouth twitched as he stood rooted to the ground in a daze. Following the devilishly handsome man, the 2 rows of silver core experts followed. The group of 17 people stopped in front of Lin Feng. "White Commander." Lin Feng smiled and said. Suddenly, the devilishly handsome man's eyes lit up. He glanced at the identity badge on Lin Feng's chest and gently crossed his arms. He bowed 45 degrees and said respectfully, "Greetings, young lord." "Greetings, young lord." The 2 demon clan experts behind the devilishly handsome man half bowed. "Greetings, young lord." A row of silver core experts knelt on one knee like soldiers greeting their general. Their voices were loud and imposing. Every silver core expert here was much stronger than Blue Wolf, Dead Wolf, Mad Wolf, and the others. It was obvious that they had been on the battlefield for a long time. The same silver core experts could be very different in strength. The aura of the 2 demon clan experts had reached the peak of the silver core level. Just the 2 of them alone could turn the entire Black Wolf gene empire upside down and cause chaos. As for the devilishly handsome man in the lead, he was even more terrifying. "Thank you for coming all the way here, White Commander." Lin Feng was also a little flattered. He did not expect the 100 Saints Martial Hall to be so grand as to send a silver core expert to receive him. Even if he had obtained the status and authority of an exceptional genius, this was too exaggerated. "It's not hard. It's my honor to receive you personally." The devilishly handsome White Commander laughed. At this time, Sa Yin and the others were completely dumbfounded, especially the 3rd Prince Sa Yin. He would never have guessed that the young man in front of him had such a powerful background. He was a Silver Core Elite and a team of Silver Core Elite with terrifying strength. "Young Lord, was this a joke?" Blue Wolf, Dead Wolf, and the other Wolf Clan experts knelt on one knee. They were lucky that they did not act rashly. Otherwise, they would have been beheaded. Anyone here could easily kill them. As for the scariest White Commander, under his smiling face was hidden the top-notch silver heart combat power of the Nebulous State. "Third Prince, we've kicked an iron plate this time." Blue Wolf thought. The most dumbfounded was Han jumping. He could not believe what was happening in front of him, but it just happened. This human youth that he hated to the core, who had destroyed the reputation of the Mad Wolf clan, was actually a martial artist from the 100 Saints Martial Hall. "It's over." Han Jompung's cold sweat dripped down. He kept quiet out of fear. Chapter 1280. Sa Yin and the rest did not understand what a special grade genius meant. Even Lin Feng himself was not very clear. The 100 Saints Martial Palace walked the path of elites, and they knew the importance of saints. No matter how many silver plate or silver core elites there were, they could not compare to a saint. Saints are the pinnacle of power in the Milky Way. Every elite that the 100 Saints Martial Palace recruited was 1 in 10,000. They were divided into 3rd grade, 2nd grade, 1st grade, and the highest special grade geniuses. The goal of 3rd grade geniuses was to become a silver core elite, which was also the limit of 3rd grade geniuses. For example, the White Commander, 2 demon elites, and a group of silver core elites that Lin Feng saw just now were all 3rd grade geniuses. This was why the 100 Saints Martial Palace recruited more than 90% of the martial artists. 2nd grade geniuses' goal was to become a silver core elite at the diamond or king level. The chances of breaking through and becoming a saint were similarly low. 1st grade geniuses and special grade geniuses' goal was to become a saint, especially special grade geniuses. Every one of them was heavily nurtured by the 100 Saints Martial Palace, and the chances of special grade geniuses becoming saints were as high as 10%. In other words, 1 out of every 10 special grade geniuses would become a saint. This probability was relatively high. Even if they couldn't reach the saint realm, ordinary special prodigies were basically Silver Heart Kings. They could summon the wind and summon the rain among cosmic system states and were invincible. There were even some whose combat power could rival the saint realm. Therefore, in order to pick up Lin Feng, the 100 Saints Martial Palace sent people from thousands of miles away. In the Milky Way, special grade geniuses were rare, and every one of them would be fought over by the 7 empires. If the 100 Saints Martial Palace did not take action, Lin Feng would still be recruited by the other 6 empires. As for coming to the Black Wolf Gene Empire to pick up Lin Feng, it was just a little bit of sincerity. To the 100 Saints Martial Palace, who had a super spacecraft, they arrived in less than 2 years. "Young master, do you need help?" The handsome white commander smiled gently at Lin Feng, but his eyes were cold as they swept across the people from the Black Wolf Gene Empire. Mo Tai and Mo Sure are willing to serve. Behind the white commander, the tall devil race expert who had been silent all this time cupped his hands and said. His voice was like a great bell, and his violent combat strength leaked out, causing the powerhouses of the Wolf clan to turn pale. They were so shocked that they didn't dare to move. Although they were all silver core rankers, these Wolf clan rankers were at most black iron rankers and bronze rankers. Even the strongest blue Wolf clan rankers might not be silver rankers. However, the two brothers, Mo Tai and Mo Sure, were both diamond-level silver core powerhouses. The gap between them was not small at all. "I'll do it myself." Lin Feng neither refused nor agreed. He smiled faintly and walked towards Han Zhanpeng, whose face was filled with shock. Han Zhanpeng staggered, and his eyes were filled with panic. How could he have imagined that things would turn out this way? He was the clan leader of the Wild Wolf Han family, one of the 100 great warriors of the Black Wolf Gene Empire, who didn't treat him respectfully when they saw him. They didn't even dare to breathe loudly. In the Black Wolf Gene Empire, who didn't give Han Zhanpeng some face and called him clan leader Han, Brother Peng? But now, Han Zhanpeng was in his own clan's encampment, surrounded by tens of thousands of powerhouses. He also had the support of Third Prince Sa-in. The Wolf clan's first, second, third, fourth, and fifth teams had more than 100 silver core rankers. However, they were forced into a corner by a young man. No, Han Zhanpeng staggered back. He was already seriously injured, and his aura was completely suppressed. Blue Wolf, Death Wolf. Save me, save me. Han Zhanpeng's face was deathly pale. Seeing that the powerhouses of the Wolf clan were indifferent, he looked towards Third Prince Sa-in and said with a twisted expression, "Save me, Your Highness. I don't want to die." The invisible pressure almost drove Han Zhanpeng crazy. Lin Feng's strength suppressed him in all aspects. Even though Han Zhanpeng was surrounded by so many powerhouses, he didn't feel safe at all. He was meat on the chopping board, ready to be trampled on. Sa-in turned his head and didn't look at Han Zhanpeng. Although he wanted to, he was powerless. This was the 100 Saints Martial Hall. Even his father would have to be respectful, let alone him. Although Han Zhanpeng was his subordinate, he wouldn't go to the extent of fighting with the 100 Saints Martial Hall for his subordinate. Did they really think he was brainless? It's time to end this. Lin Feng didn't want to waste time, in case Han Zhanpeng said something he shouldn't. In an instant, a shocking aura appeared and enveloped Han Zhanpeng. The Tai Chi True Dragon appeared again, and the Yin-Yang 8 trigrams formed the image of Tai Chi, completely locking on a Han Zhanpeng. The sinful black blade roared towards the sky. Lin Feng didn't need any help, even though he knew that the powerhouses of the 100 Saints Martial Hall, who called him Young Master, would attack him. However, he alone was enough to deal with Han Zhanpeng. Die. Lin Feng cleanly killed Han Zhanpeng with one slash. The latter had already lost his will to fight. The Han clan's encampment was silent. When the powerhouses of the Han clan saw that their clan leader had been killed, no one dared to make a sound. Third Prince Sa-in and the other powerhouses of the Wolf clan also didn't dare to say anything. It's done. Lin Feng turned around and nodded to the white commander, then stepped onto the purple gold disc. The magnetic light shone, and the spacecraft at the top activated its suction force, causing the purple gold disc to fly up. "My lord, have a safe journey." Sa-in nodded and shouted with a smile on his face. Seeing the young man leave, Sa-in couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief. He was afraid that the young man would bring up old scores, and he would be in trouble. Fortunately, the young man's target was only Han Zhanpeng. What kind of deep hatred did the two of them have? Sa-in was very curious. Not only Sa-in, but the other powerhouses of the Wolf clan also felt lucky. They were afraid that the 100 Saints Martial Hall would kill them if they didn't agree. In front of the Hundred Saints Martial Hall, the Black Wolf Gold Empire was nothing. Young Master. This human youth seems to have a very high position in the Hundred Saints Martial Hall. Fortunately, it didn't fight. Lin Feng sat on the super spacecraft. He didn't have many friends in the Black Wolf Gold Empire, so there was no need to say goodbye. As for Dark Cloud, Elephant, and the others, they could contact each other through the Milky Way Black Network, so they didn't meet much in real life. Moreover, his current identity was a little sensitive. The matter of the Black Wolf Gold Empire had almost come to an end. Madame Han is dead. The Jinlong clan is destroyed, and the only possible insider, Han Zhanpeng, is dead. I believe that the secret of Earth can continue to be kept. Lin Feng nodded lightly. Lin Feng was very satisfied as he sat on the seat that the White Commander brought for him. The trip to the Black Wolf Gold Empire was daunting but not dangerous, and it could be considered a successful completion of the mission. His next goal was to go to the center of the Milky Way to see the true power of the Milky Way and enter the Dongwang Empire. 100 Saints Martial Hall. But before that, I need to make a trip back to Earth first. Lin Feng thought softly. It was now the 21st year of Huaxia, and in about half a year, the powerhouse of the Jinlong clan, Jin Shiqiang, would arrive on Earth. Chapter 1281. Reeks whoosh. In the dark matter space, a spaceship was flying at an amazing speed. The pitch-black metal armor looked like a prehistoric beast. Even if it encountered the spatial fluctuations and dark matter storms of the dark matter space, it was still as steady as Mount Tai, unperturbed. 200 times the speed of light. Lin Feng sat on the main seat and exclaimed. His enhanced Level 7 spaceship was already the best in the Black Wolf Gold Empire. It was 5 times the normal speed of light, with a maximum speed of 10 times the speed of light. Returning to Earth in the dark matter space would take at least 2 to 3 months, and at most half a year. But compared to this 100 Saints number 7, it was like a child in the presence of an adult. Young Master, do you need to speed up? The White Commander asked with a smile. What's the highest speed? Lin Feng was curious. 500 times. The White Commander's answer was as calm as usual. But reaching the highest speed will cause damage to the spaceship, and the energy consumption will be 10 times higher than normal. I don't recommend it unless it's an emergency. Lin Feng nodded. 500 times was equivalent to half the standard speed of an interstellar battleship. At this speed, the friction between the dark matter and the spaceship would cause damage to the spaceship's material. And similar machines working at full capacity would also greatly reduce their lifespan. 200 times the speed of light is the most normal and balanced speed for the 100 Saints number 7. The White Commander smiled. Yes, that's the speed. Lin Feng smiled. With the current speed, it would take less than 10 days to reach 5 light years. But the Black Wolf Gold Empire is tens of thousands of light years away from the Dongwang Empire. Even at 500 times the speed of light, 2 years won't be enough. Lin Feng asked doubtfully. The Milky Way had a diameter of 120,000 light years. The Black Wolf Gold Empire was at the top of the Milky Way, while the Dongwang Empire was at the center of the Milky Way. The distance between the two was shocking. Yu 1. The 100 Saints number 7 won't be enough. The White Commander said, but the Dongwang Empire is vast and boundless. Every region has a space teleportation array that can be used continuously. Although it's a bit troublesome, it can save a lot of time after tens of thousands of short-distance teleportations. Finally, from the border of the Dongwang Empire to the Black Wolf Gold Empire. The White Commander's voice was as calm as usual, but it was enough to shock Lin Feng. Tens of thousands of short-distance transmission space teleportation had a distance limit, and the furthest teleportation could not exceed a distance of 1 light year. Every teleportation required a considerable amount of cosmos crystals, and the White Commander's group of 17 people had to spend an astronomical amount of cosmos crystals. Moreover, tens of thousands of teleportations consumed even more energy. Thank you, Lin Feng said sincerely. It was obvious that the 100 Saints Martial Hall was very sincere in inviting him to join. Soon, Lin Feng became familiar with a group of 17 people led by the White Commander. The White Commander's full name was Bai Jiang. He was a powerhouse of the cynical Arctic Fox clan and was not a human. Because Bai Jiang walked the path of transformation, and the cynical Arctic Fox clan was not good at fighting. Although Bai Jiang was at the Silver Heart level, his battle strength was average. His upper limit was not high. Even so, Bai Jiang was still much stronger than a Silver Core. Under Commander Bai Jiang, there were Mo Tai and Mo Shi, two demon clan powerhouses. They had diamond-level Silver Core powerhouses, and their combat power was comparable to Silver Heart powerhouses who were slightly weaker. Of course, there was still a gap between them and Commander Bai Jiang. The other 14 Silver Core powerhouses were Lin Feng's personal guards. The 100 Saints Martial Hall provided every special class genius with comprehensive equipment and the best cultivation conditions and environment. Talents were what the 100 Saints Martial Hall valued the most. The White Commander, Mo Tai, Mo Shi, and the other powerhouses did not have any complaints or dissatisfaction because they knew that every special class genius had a limitless future. Becoming a Silver Heart was just the beginning. Yu too, the most ordinary special class genius, would become a Silver Heart diamond level powerhouse in the future. It was more than enough to lead them. Please take care of me in the future, White Commander and my brothers, Lin Feng said humbly. Young Master, you are too kind. We are the ones who need your care. The White Commander smiled gently. Yes, young Master, please take care of us in the future. Mo Tai, Mo Shi, and the other powerhouses said. As the saying goes, when a man achieves the Tao, even his chickens and dogs will follow. If Lin Feng could become a saint one day, they would all share in the glory. Not to mention their strength, their status would be completely different. And if Lin Feng cared for them and took care of them, no one could say for sure what would happen in the future. There were some saints in the 100 Saints Martial Hall who were managers and guards. When a young master they served became a saint, they were also pulled in. Nothing was impossible. For the past few days, Lin Feng did not cultivate much. On one hand, he wanted to connect with his own team. On the other hand, he wanted to learn some information about the Dongwang Empire and the 7 empires of the Milky Way from the White Commander, including everything about the 100 Saints Martial Hall. These would be used soon. 8 days later, the 100 Saints number 7 jumped out of the dark matter space and returned to the original universe. In the original universe, even the most advanced spaceship could only maintain a maximum speed of 1 light year. A pitch-black light shrouded the world as 100 Saints number 7 dominated the universe. This is the only way for them to get here. White Commander, if you see the Golden Dragon Clan spaceship, please inform me, Lin Feng said to the White Commander. He cannot bring Bai Jiang, Mo Tai, Mo Shi, and the others into the solar system. After all, they had only known each other for a short time. Don't worry, young master, the White Commander said gently. You 3. Thank you for your hard work, everyone. Lin Feng looked around and smiled apologetically. 100 Saints number 7 arrived too quickly. According to the estimation, Jean Shiqiang's spaceship would take half a year to reach Earth. It was not realistic to find a spaceship in the vast universe. The best way was to wait. Don't worry, young master. We will definitely destroy that thing. Haha, let's wait for him to crash into us. The Silver Core elites were familiar with each other. The White Commander smiled and said, Come back early, MHM. Lin Feng nodded and returned to Earth after bidding farewell to everyone. After becoming a galactic elite, time passed in the blink of an eye. It felt like 15 years had passed since he entered the Black Wolf Gold Empire. When Lin Feng left Earth, it had been 6 years in Huaxia. It was now 21 years in China. It's been a long time since I left home. Mom, big brother, sister, Ling Er, Manzi, Xining Nyema. Lin Feng's mind was filled with faces and familiar figures. Although he knew that they were safe and sound on the anniversary of their deaths, Professor Jean, Wulin, and the other soul-contracted elites were watching over him. He could not stop himself from thinking about them. Each and every one of them was deeply imprinted in the deepest part of Lin Feng's heart. Family love. To Lin Feng, these were his most precious treasures. Chapter 1282. Driving his spaceship, Lin Feng quickly returned to Earth. There was still about half a year before Jin Shiqiang would arrive. For Lin Feng, this half a year was very precious. He had already given up on the development of Earth and would no longer control it. In this half a year, he hoped to reunite with his family, wife, and children. He had always owed them too much. Ever since we got married, Linger and I have been apart more than together, but she has never complained. Big brother has always helped me take care of the whole family, mother, sister, Manzi. Lin Feng pursed his lips, letting Xinyan take root in his heart, with a deep desire in his eyes. Earth should be in the 21st year of Huaxia. Xining and Lin Mo have already grown up. I really want to see them soon. Lin Feng smiled. His and Ling, Er's daughter, Lin Xining, should be 22 years old now, at the age when flowers bloom and are the most beautiful. There was also his and Manzi's son, Lin Mo. At 17 years old, he had already become a young man. As a father, I'm not qualified. Lin Feng sighed softly. He had lost the time to grow up with his children. It was often difficult to have the best of both worlds. Lin Feng returned to Earth. Although he had left for 15 years, this time was different from the previous time. Lin Feng had learned from his mistakes and left many eyes on Earth. Whether it was the witch wheel, Dr. Jean, or the death anniversary, they were all Lin Feng's eyes. In the 21st year of Huaxia, Earth had already embarked on the path of development that combined technology and martial arts. Under the efforts of Dr. Jean and Xiao Yi, Earth's technology changed with each passing day. The strengthening of genes was popularized to every human. 100% brain expanse was not only the patent of martial artists, but also for ordinary people. The strengthening of genes started from every human. Although the current humans on Earth are not as good as the second-generation humans, they're already on a new path. Lin Feng saw a different Earth and a different human. The second-generation humans on Earth were born with 100% brain expanse and were indeed talented. But the current humans on Earth could also reach 100% brain expanse. With the genetic evolution of generations of humans on Earth, sooner or later, the glory of the second-generation humans would be reproduced. Moreover, the third generation of humans wasn't bad either. According to you, although the third generation of humans has lost a lot, their reproductive ability has increased a lot. Lin Feng looked down at the entire Earth from above. Although the Earth was still in danger of exploding at any time, the human race on Earth was reproducing at an extremely high speed. Earth, Mars, the Moon, Jupiter, the population of Jupiter has already surpassed that of Mars. It will soon surpass that of Earth. Lin Feng smiled. The 10-year plan to transform Jupiter had already been completed. Jupiter, which was 1,300 times larger than Earth, could accommodate even more humans. Within 100 years, Earth will occupy the entire solar system. Within 1,000 years, we can build the solar system into a star sector model similar to the Black Wolf Gold Empire. However, we can't rush it. Lin Feng understood. Right now, Earth was still in danger. After all, it was a 9-star life planet. It was too rare. Although it was already in ruins, Earth was still very attractive to any empire. He wasn't afraid of the Black Wolf Gold Empire. But what about the 7 empires in the Milky Way? The current him had yet to truly protect Earth. It's still early. Who knows what will happen in 100 or 1,000 years? Lin Feng smiled and wasn't too worried. With his current strength, he was no longer afraid of the Black Wolf Gold Empire. After joining the strongest 100 Saints martial temple in the Dongwang Empire and entering the center of power in the Milky Way, he believed that he would have the real power to protect Earth in 1,000 or 10,000 years. I can buy some treasures that can hide the star system. It's not too troublesome to artificially create space turbulence and war. Lin Feng wasn't sure of money. He returned to Xining Island. His mother, Jiruhua, sister Yurlin, disciple Xiao Yu, and wife Xiaoling and Manzi were all there. They welcomed him warmly and shed tears of joy. On the contrary, his son and daughter seemed a little reserved. Lin Xining and Lin Yima looked at Lin Feng with some admiration, some nervousness, and some unfamiliarity. Lin Feng smiled slightly and didn't care too much. This reaction was normal. After all, He had been away for too long this time and had completely missed their growth in childhood. Hugging Lin Xining and Lin Yemo, Lin Feng said heartily, "Let's go to the element paradise." Swish, swish. The eyes of the two suddenly lit up. Really? Hearing Lin Feng's affirmative answer, Lin Xining and Lin Yemo were excited and soon forgot their nervousness. Xiao Ling and Shi Manzi couldn't stop crying and laughing. Within a few days, Lin Feng and the two children had become close. For Lin Xining and Lin Yemo, they had grown up listening to their father's glorious deeds and admired him. Plus, their father was very approachable and not difficult to get along with at all. Their relationship grew deeper day by day. Lin Feng understood that any relationship needed to be communicated with heart and nurtured with time. These things couldn't be rushed. A short half a year was far from enough for the two children. Lin Feng didn't want the two children to treat him like a stranger in the future or just purely admire him, like everyone on Earth today. "Big brother Lin, how long will you stay this time?" Xiao Ling asked. Her bright eyes were filled with anticipation. Time didn't change her appearance. After reaching the star state, her lifespan and youth had increased by a lot. At least a few years. Shi Manzi pouted. Lin Feng smiled. Not only did he owe his two children, but he also owed his two wives a lot. "I'm not leaving this time," Lin Feng said softly. Xiao Ling and Shi Manzi were dazed. Xiao Ling looked at Lin Feng. "Are you joking, big brother Lin? I said you're not leaving. So you're not leaving, husband." Shi Manzi smiled. Lin Feng gently embraced the two women in his arms. Really? In the secret techniques section of the True Dragon Sacred Scripture, he could cultivate 37 of them, and one of them was called True Dragon Avatar. It was condensed using the realm power of the Great Realm Sea and the essence of the True Dragon, using his own essence blood. The True Dragon Avatar was like a soul contract. It needed to occupy a small part of the soul. Usually, it was 10 times more than a soul contract. However, it wasn't much to the current Lin Feng. After all, after obtaining the 10,000 Origin Mustard Stone, Lin Feng's soul had improved a lot. Also, the True Dragon Avatar's soul could be controlled. With the current strength of my soul, forming the lowest level of True Dragon Avatar only requires 1/10,000th of my soul. 1/10,000th in exchange for the company of family and love. It was very worth it. To be continued. Chapter 1283. Since he had made up his mind, Lin Feng quickly began to condense a True Dragon Avatar. In fact, the greatest use of a True Dragon Avatar was cultivation. For example, Lin Feng could originally only comprehend one Tao of Origins at a time. With a True Dragon Avatar, he could comprehend 2 Tao of Origins at the same time. However, condensing a True Dragon Avatar would affect his soul. After all, it was division and not birth from the void. If I cultivate in seclusion for a long time, condensing a True Dragon Avatar can increase efficiency and save time. Lin Feng followed the secret technique's guidance and mobilized the realm power of the Great Realm Sea. The True Dragon Avatar had an advantage. It could be fused. It could be divided and fused. It was irrational to use a True Dragon Avatar in battle. Dividing one's original strength into 2 was far inferior to fusing it into 1. However, it was different during cultivation. Every True Dragon Avatar could increase one's cultivation speed. If the cultivation was completed and no longer needed, one could withdraw the True Dragon Avatar. No wonder teacher was able to comprehend and cultivate so many Daos of essence. Only now did Lin Feng understand. His teacher, the Monarch True Dragon, was proficient in 8 Tao of metal, wood, water, fire, earth, yang, lightning, and wind. At present, his cultivation of the great Tao of light was the weakest. It was only at 2 levels. If he entered the Origin Sea to comprehend and cultivate the great Tao of light, he might need less than 10% of his soul. At that time, the True Dragon Avatar would be very useful. I don't need to cultivate so many great Tao like teacher. It's enough to focus on the great Tao of light, darkness, and lightning. However, my cultivation of the great Tao of light has fallen too far behind. I need a true Dragon Avatar. Lin Feng focused and quickly began to condense a true dragon avatar. The essence of the true dragon was opened with the third aperture. In an instant, the power of the great realm sea surged wildly. Lin Feng tried it for the first time. It was easy to divide 1 in 10,000 of his soul. The condensation was also fast. However, the new body formed by the blood essence would cause a certain degree of weakness to the body. Even Lin Feng, who had a treasure like the 10,000 origin mustard stone, took a month to fully recover. True Dragon Avatar. Lin Feng sighed. It was just like when one's consciousness was split into two, but they were still connected. The clone was exactly the same as the original and could also cultivate. Although it was only 1/10,000th of his soul power, Lin Feng was a cosmic system state silver core after all. 1/10,000th. They were both cosmic system states. Make another one. There's not enough time. Lin Feng estimated that, including the recovery period, it would take about a year to create a true dragon avatar with 1/10 the strength of the soul. Right now, more than 2 months had passed. I'll do it when I go to the Dongwang Empire. Lin Feng smiled and walked out of the closed-door cultivation room. In the vast starry sky of the universe. So, a pitch-black spaceship was traveling through the primal universe at the speed of light. It was the Golden Dragon race's powerhouses, led by the Golden Dragon race's level 6 genetic soul warrior, Jin Shiqiang. Jin Shiqiang's eyes were brimming with fighting spirit as he gathered the top powers of the Golden Dragon race. He had just become a level 6 genetic soul warrior not long ago and was in urgent need of a significant battle to establish his reputation. He, Jin Shiqiang, was the pride of the Golden Dragon race. Captain, according to the coordinates in the universe, we will reach Earth in the solar system in 7 days. A level 5 genetic soul warrior reported. Very good. Jin Shiqiang nodded and clapped his hands. Tell everyone to get ready. This time, the enemy is in the dark and we are in the light. Remember to be careful. Don't fail miserably. Earth, we must have it. Jin Shiqiang encouraged the morale. His heart was full of pride. Jin Hao and Han Shan's failure did not cause him any pressure. In Jin Shiqiang's view, the two's strength was not worth mentioning. Every genetic soul warrior here was stronger than Jin Hao. The Patriarch had even equipped them with level 6 technological weapons. Their combat power was absolutely overwhelming. Even in the Black Wolf Gold Empire, their team's combat power was top-notch. We must get it. We must get it. The genetic soul warriors were excited. They had been waiting for this day for a long time. After 9.5 years of flying, they could not wait to kill to their heart's content. They did not care about a mere Earth, a new star system. They were the elites of the Golden Dragon race. Boom! Suddenly, the spacecraft shook violently, startling all the genetic soul warriors. What's going on? Jin Shiqiang shouted unhappily. The genetic soul warrior in charge of the controls panicked. He continued to operate the spacecraft, but it seemed to be useless. Cold sweat dripped down, and the genetic soul warriors' faces darkened. What? Jin Shiqiang took a step forward and widened his eyes. The control system of the entire spacecraft was in chaos. The needle kept spinning and changing. Suddenly, it was completely out of control. It's a magnetic field. Captain, we're under attack. It's another spacecraft, one with the ability to destroy magnetic fields. Swish, swish, swish. The genetic soul warriors' faces turned pale. A spacecraft with the ability to destroy magnetic fields was at least X-series. The Black Wolf Gold Empire could not make it, let alone compete with it. It was a technological level crush. They could not even call for help because the magnetic field had been completely destroyed. Sizzle, 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 the alarm of the entire spacecraft rang. In just a moment, there was a loud bang and a bright firework lit up in the universe. Jin Shiqiang and the genetic soul warriors were blown to pieces along with the explosion of the spacecraft. They could not hide at all, because that was a super technological weapon attack. Level? In front of the 100 Saints No. 7 spacecraft, they were nothing. In the vast universe, there were planets being destroyed and reborn every day. The destruction of a mere spaceship was too common. because they had provoked someone they should not have. It's over. In the 100 Saints number 7, Lin Feng looked calm. If the Golden Dragon clan could not make any waves, they would be destroyed in the Black Wolf Gold Empire. The secret of Earth would be temporarily covered in dust. It was believed that it would be safe for a long time. Is there anything else to do, young master? The White Commander smiled. Nothing. Lin Feng shook his head and pointed to the side. I'll bring someone to the Dongwang Empire. That should be okay, right? Of course, it's okay to bring more. The White Commander said. Lin Feng turned his head and smiled. It's not too late to regret, junior brother. Why would I regret it? A chuckle sounded. It was Li Poji, the 34th disciple of the true Dragon Sovereign. After 15 years, Li Poji, like Lin Feng, had received his graduation gift and could officially travel the universe. Okay, Lin Feng smiled. Let's go, White Commander. Yes, young master. The White Commander replied. The 100 Saints number 7 immediately opened and jumped into the dark matter channel to begin its journey. Their destination, the Dongwang Empire. Chapter 1284. The journey from the solar system to the Dongwang Empire was quite long. Even flying at 200 times the speed of light in the dark matter space was very far. Of course, this was for Lin Feng and Li Poji, as they had never flown such a long distance before. 48,000 light years. Li Poji gasped in shock. Compared to Lin Feng, Li Poji was a little less knowledgeable and almost fainted when he heard this number. It would take 48,000 light years to fly at the speed of light. During this long time, he would probably turn into a fossil in the spaceship. The Dongwang Empire is at the center of the Milky Way after all. The radius of the Milky Way is 600 light years, which is about the same distance. Lin Feng said, it's actually quite fast for us to travel at 200 times the speed of light. Li Poji grinned and smiled bitterly. Even at 200 times the speed of light, it would still take 24 years, senior brother. There's no need for that. Lin Feng shook his head. The White Commander explained with a smile, in the dark matter space, there will be many space oscillations. The changes of dark matter can be accelerated, especially the closer to the center of the Milky Way, the greater the changes. There will be continuous space folding, dark matter storms, and so on. Generally, it would take about 24 years to travel a distance of 48,000 light years at 1/10 of the speed of light. If you're lucky, it might take you 10 years or less. 24 years. Li Poji smiled bitterly. It had only been 47 years since he was born, and the journey would take him almost half a year. Lin Feng nodded. There was a convenient way to perform short-distance teleportation, but it was too energy-consuming and consumed a lot of cosmos crystals. If they were not in a hurry, it was generally not recommended to use this method, because they had already done it when they came here. After reaching the cosmic system state, cultivation was basically calculated in years. Time flew by quickly. 24 years was just a blink of an eye. Usually, many cosmic system states comprehended the profound will in hundreds or thousands of years. This was also the reason why Lin Feng condensed a true dragon avatar on Earth. He felt that time was fast when he cultivated, but his family did not. Now on Earth, Lin Feng could not only accompany his family, but also teach his 2 children. It was the best of both worlds. Junior brother, if you feel bored, there's a hibernation pool in 100 Saints number 7. You'll be fine after a nap. Lin Feng said. As the top cosmic system state ship, 100 Saints 7 had all sorts of equipment. The hibernation pool was designed to prevent the boredom of space travel. Entering the hibernation state could prolong one's lifespan. Peak cosmic system level technology was extremely advanced. No. I'm just saying. Li Poji glanced at the cosmic system states and smiled. I can't wait to have so many powerful beings to cultivate together. Lin Feng smiled. He knew what his junior brother Li Poji was planning. His guard were the best sparring partners for Li Poji. How could there be such good conditions in other places? A journey of at least 10 years. Lin Feng nodded lightly. When junior fellow apprentice Li Poji arrived at Dongwang Empire, his strength would be greatly improved. Maybe he could pass the test of 100 Saints Martial Palace and become a third-class genius or a second-class genius. As for himself, I can make up for this journey. Lin Feng had already made up his mind. Once again, he condensed a true dragon avatar. This time, Lin Feng condensed 2 avatars in a row. One of them was 1/10 of his soul, while the other was 2/10 of his soul. In his main body, Lin Feng still maintained 70% of his soul. 70% of his combat power wouldn't be weakened too much even in battle. In the Great Realm Sea, I can only condense 3 true dragon avatars at most. In the Great Realm Sea, I can condense 5 true dragon avatars. True dragon avatars had a great requirement for realm force. Only when the Sea of Consciousness transformed to the Great Realm Sea could he cultivate it. Lin Feng had already condensed 1 avatar on Earth. Now, he could condense 2 more. It was more or less enough. After all, the process of condensing 1 avatar would take 1 year and the other 2 years. It was quite long. The more souls were split, the longer it would take. I'll call the number 1 and number 2. Lin Feng planned to let number 1 comprehend the great Tao of darkness and number 2 comprehend the great Tao of light. They would cultivate both at the same time. Because his great Tao of darkness was at the 3rd level of the great Tao of darkness, the requirement for comprehension were higher. The great Tao of light was at the 2nd level, so it was relatively easier to comprehend. Comprehension of Tao was the most powerful way to increase the perception distance in the origin astral world. The more Tao one comprehended, the more secrets one could see into the universe and increase one's level of life. Lin Feng was still at the Silver Plate realm. What he lacked was registration in the origin astral world. The 5th level of the origin astral world required 1 million perception distance. He needed to reach the 6th level of the origin astral world, which required 10 million perception distance. True dragon avatars are exactly the same as my main body. They can both circulate the body of light and darkness bloodline. It will be much easier to comprehend the great Tao of light and darkness. Lin Feng's main body continued to study the cultivation chapter of the True Dragon Scripture. It wasn't the True Dragon Heart Cultivation Tao, but another Tao. True Dragon Heart Cultivation Mantra. Cultivating Heart Force, the most mysterious form of Heart Force. Heart Force is the foundation of everything. The soul of talent is the symbol of will. The soul of earth is the foundation of Tao. My disciples must diligently practice the True Dragon Cultivation Heart Sutra to nurture and strengthen heart force and increase the quality of will. When you reach the cosmic system level, you must reach the Heaven Realm Azure Dragon 3rd Transformation or above. Remember, in the cultivation chapter, the True Dragon Cultivation Heart Sutra was on par with the True Dragon Heart Cultivation Tao. It was very important. The True Dragon Monarch rarely had strict requirements for his disciples, but the True Dragon Cultivation Heart Sutra was an exception. Lin Feng carefully flipped through the pages one by one, concentrating on reading and comprehending the contents. The True Dragon Cultivation Heart Sutra was much longer than the True Dragon Heart Cultivation Tao. 5 realms. Human realm, star planet level experts heart force. Earth realm, star level experts heart force. Heaven realm, star level experts heart force. Saint realm, black hole level experts heart force. God realm, black hole level. Every major realm had its own details and weight. Human realm was the Red Dragon 3rd Transformation. Earth realm was the Blue Dragon 5th Transformation. Heaven realm was the Azure Dragon 7th Transformation. Saint realm was the Purple Dragon 9th Transformation. Phew! Lin Feng let out a sigh of relief. His teacher was indeed his teacher. The self-created True Dragon Saint Power had an all-round cultivation path. Since he had inherited his teacher's cultivation path, he didn't need to worry about the soul of talent. He only needed to cultivate step by step. As long as he had enough talent, he would become a black hole level expert sooner or later. Let's start from the basics. Lin Feng closed his eyes and quickly used the True Dragon Cultivation Heart Sutra. From simple to difficult, step by step. Human realm, Red Dragon 3rd Transformation. Lin Feng also wanted to know what level his heart force was at. He had never cultivated it properly before.